What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to a special Sunday edition of the Don't Unfriend Me show. We're expecting maybe 3 or 4 people here because we're never on a Sunday. If not, we'll just blame it on the lack of not having a live light.
Correct.
And our professionalism. We have Ryan Samuels here. Ryan, wave. Say hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Yep. Ryan Samuels is in the house. Please do me a favor. Let's share, like, and subscribe. We're going to be talking about everything new and fun and exciting. Alan Donovan obviously was on the other night. Ryan Samuels today. Lisa Regina tomorrow. And then Adam and Rick from Blackbird Anthem. Do we have anybody else booked outside of this week?
Blackbird Anthem's next week.
Oh, okay. Well, we need to get busy. So, hey, if you want to be on the Don't Unfriend Me show, real simple. All you need to do is go to thedumbshow.com and you can fill it out right in our contact sheet. Tell us you want to be on the Don't Unfriend Me show. We'll get you on. Love to have you on. If you're a new podcast or you're an established podcast, love to have you. Hope everyone had a good Sunday. And Ryan, welcome to the house, man.
Happy to be here, man. Thank you so much for having me, dude. This is awesome.
You got it. We're going to have a good time, talk about some news, talk a little bit about Ryan, and all that fun stuff. If you have not had a chance, please go to facebook.com/thedumbshowmatt. That is actually my personal page. You can go there and follow. And we are also on TikTok, and dare I say we're actually doing pretty well on TikTok, which is shocking. If you have not had a chance to follow us, it is tiktok.com/@thedumbshow.com. We'll put those links in chat. Olivia's going to pop them in right now because she's prepared.
Yeah, I sure am.
Because she's doing that right now.
I will.
Okay, she will. See you in a few minutes, everybody. Be back in 3.
Which one's live? All of them?
Hey everybody, it's T.S. Dixon, author of The Woke Mind Viruses. And I want to tell you that I'm pleased to be part of The Dumb Show, the Don't Unfriend Me show that you can find every weeknight at 7 p.m. on social media at The Dumb Show or on their website, thedumbshow.com. See you there.
What the?
Whoa, that was real short. There we go.
That's what she said.
I think that's something you don't want to be bragging about there, Peter.
I actually thought it was pretty long.
That's what.
That was a very long time.
Right.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree, Just don't unfriend me.
Welcome, everybody. Nice Sunday afternoon. We've been went to breakfast over at Tammy's, and the carnivore diet was completely eclipsed. We had to get our good friend Ryan Samuels a booster and a bib, but he wasn't able to have a pancake because
Can't do it
wasn't in his goal to fit into a Minnesota Vikings cheerleader outfit by the end of the summer. We understand. So we got him a tampon, and he's here now, and it's really exciting. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show there, Ryan Samuels.
Thank you. Welcome. I'm very happy to be here. This is absolutely awesome. When you and I first connected 3 years ago, we always talked about this, and this is the first time of, I'm sure, many that will come.
You know what's weird? It's like the awkwardness that was supposed to take place between two people who've never met. Like,
not at all.
I didn't even think about it. Like, seriously, this is the first time I thought about it. I'm like, holy shit, I don't even know this fucking guy. He's in my house. Who is he? But seriously, it was like absolutely, like there was more awkwardness between Leroy and I in the first meeting, or Damani. It just seemed completely natural, and that's just weird. It's weird. So
can I say something?
Not really. We've decided to move on from you, and I have Ryan. Real quick, just let me get donation. Oh, never mind. You do it. Why are we at 350?
We are at 350 because we need to up our goal just a tad. Friday night, as you all know, we love you for it. And when Alan Donovan from Fathers Lives Matter was going through a cancer battle right now and has got bills up the wahoo, we opened donations up.
It's wazoo.
Wazoo, whatever. Wahoo, wazoo.
Proper
whatever.
vernacular.
And we appreciate everyone that helped out. And we love that we were able to donate. It was just an unexpected $5,500 expense that we were not expecting at the moment. So we had to go into our own personal savings and do that, which we are very happy to do. We've got absolutely no complaints about it. I'm just happy that we're in a place and we're fortunate enough to be able to do that and help someone who is in need. But we need to replenish our savings a little bit. So I upped the goal by $50. If you could help, that would be greatly appreciated.
Are you like that?
I'm in charge of finances. So
I didn't do that. So I'm just letting you know. Well, Barry Morgenstein will be very proud. He'll probably hire you as his accountant. That's awesome.
I'm not Jewish. I don't think that'll happen.
At this point, I think everyone who disagrees with most people who are on the far right, they're Jewish. So here's the deal. I just want to make sure everyone understands. I always keep my word, and I promised you guys that I would keep the receipts and show you our donations. And these are 100% not giving any information out. In fact, if you want to help Alan out, you can. But here, there's the total of what we gave him. Now, this is your donation and us matching the donation. And remember, there's an additional $2,500 that we're also doing for his taxes. So when tax time comes around, we will gross up and pay for his taxes. So just to everyone to be honest, you guys raised about $3,000 flat. It was a little under $3,000. We gave our $6,000, which you can see here. And we additionally are going to do, I think it's another $2,500 for grossing up the taxes. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to be very transparent, as I always am, and try to be as honest as I can that we are as good as our word. And we did that, and we figured we would relay that to you. As far as Olivia adding $50 on that, I didn't know, but that's Olivia, and that's up to her. We'll see what happens. It's good to have so many people. This is a Sunday. I can't imagine that this is going to be huge. Nobody knows we're on. But the only way that can happen is that if you share it. Please send this over to Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, whatever. And we were very, very happy to help Alan out. And he was very humbled. He said thank you to everybody. And it was awesome. So we just bumped it up a little bit, it looks like, just to kind of help out a little bit, see if we can hit a little bit more, just to make up a little of that deficit. Because we do have a vacation coming up. And now
we did just go back to school shopping for the children.
Oh my God, Liv. I mean, seriously, do you want to get can we have a pot and pan? I mean, seriously, we're not panhandling here, for God's sakes. I mean,
I am.
You don't get anything. You get nothing, and you'll like it.
Here, no. Let me get a hot poker. I'll burn your eyes out. It's better when you're blind and can see.
Oh my God, she's pulling up freaking oh my God, what's the movie? What was it? Hold on.
Robin Hood.
No, shut up. No, alms for blind men, sir. No, it's Slumdog Millionaire.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, that's a Slumdog reference. Yeah, burn the kids' eyes out. They make more money.
Shippers.
Jeez, you're horrible. Well, let's see. Yep, we're coming 5 by 5. Do we have some of your people on there?
Rumble, no.
I'm talking about Ryan.
Oh.
Ryan, did you share it over to your channel?
I did share it over to my channel. Yeah.
All right, well, let's rock and roll. We've got too much to do.
I didn't stream it directly to my channel, but I shared it over. So
Okay.
we should get some people.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Did this just pop
This
up?
just popped up.
Thomas Austin donated $21.10. Hope everybody is having a pleasant Sunday. We are, Thomas.
Thank you, sir.
And you being here makes it all the better. Get her a marker and a piece of keyboard or cardboard. Yep, sounds like a good idea. So Ryan, people have no idea who you are. No, I'm kidding. That's not true.
It's kind of true.
That's bullshit. We have some exciting news to announce. First of all, are we ready to do that, or do we want? Well, you put it up on your banner, so I guess that's pretty.
Yeah, let's do it. Full send, bro.
Go ahead.
Full send it. So my show is on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, YouTube, every channel that the Don't Unfriend Me show is on. Normally I'm on weeknights at 8:30. We're going to go ahead and move it to 9 because, Matt, I'll let you.
No, you do it. It's
okay.
It's go for it.
All right. So Matt is going to be on from 7 to 9, and then I'm going to be on from 9 to 10 for now. And we're going to kind of collaborate a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of our followers watch both of us, and they're very annoyed that we're on at the same time on different channels.
So how that works is like at the last 15, 20 minutes of our live show, Ryan will come on and be like, hey, this is what we're going to talk about. The show's going to be on at 9 o'clock. And then we would hope that the dummies would move over there. And then I will jump on his show once in a while and say, hey, blah, 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 come on and do that. We're just going to cross-pollinate. And we think that us competing against each other from that 7 to 9 hour, we're only a half hour off. So why not just go ahead and split it up?
Yeah.
And then get Damani on.
Killer. Yeah.
And then expand the network. So I think it's a great idea, and I think it'll be awesome, dude.
Yeah, me too, man. I think it's going to be good for everybody for sure.
Good. So that's going to take place. We'll let him get home to Florida.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. So there you go. So Ryan Samuels and the Don't Unfriend Me show will be separated just a little bit, so you guys can go ahead and cross-pollinate. Liv, Liv, you look stunning tonight. I mean, I love the top, and I love the houndstooth, and looks
Appreciate
great.
it. It's my favorite fabric. I love it.
Happy
I found a
houndstooth isn't a fabric; it's a pattern.
It's pattern. Excuse me.
I'm just kidding. I mean,
your gay side is coming out right now. You know that, right?
First of all, it's a day that ends with Y. My gay side is always out. Number two, I've never been like, oh, look at that lovely fur. Look at the crazy pattern it's in. Yes, that's actually called houndstooth. It's beautiful. It's a checkered, lovely little thing. Never said those words. Never. So
you sound like a pompous Englishman.
That's redundant. It's kind of redundant. All right. So here's the thing. We're gonna once you guys learn a little bit about Ryan. Ryan is a Marine. He's always a Marine. Always be a Marine. Tell everybody about yourself.
Always a Marine.
Yep. Tell us a little about yourself. How did you get into this game? You're in the Corps. Walk us through some things.
Yeah. So I was always political. Always, my whole life. I was probably the only one that was interested in my family, besides maybe my dad, who's also a Marine. But I was in high school when 9/11 happened, and I was in New York. I grew up in New York, and I was a paramedic for a little while after that time, and then I joined the Marine Corps. I was in the Marine Corps for 5 years, 2005, 2010. I'd always been infatuated with the news and loved the news, and always kind of wanted to be in broadcasting. I actually worked at a news studio for a little while because I was just interested in political commentation. And then you know how it is. You kind of get wrapped up in life, and then work some jobs, and then Joe Biden did the vaccine mandate, and I was like, all right, that's it. I'm done. It's time to kind of get started. So it was literally that day when I bought my first microphone and camera.
Were you still contracting at the time?
Yeah. So at that time I was, yeah.
So okay, so let's go back to Dad. So my dad, was a Marine. I could say posthumously because he's dead. And I'm sure he's a Marine in heaven, looking down upon sailors and Army and Air Force people as inferior rugrats. But what was that like? When you decided, hey, I'm going to go down to delayed entry program, I'm going to go into MEPS, and Was he pushy? Was he like
not at all?
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Walk me through that.
My grandfather was too. So I'm third generation. So I'm number 3, and my nephew Donnie, shout out to him. He's actually active duty now. It was actually my sister's son, and I didn't even know he was interested in joining the military. And then I went to my sister's wedding because she got remarried, and I met him there. And then my sister told me that he was avoiding me all night, and I'm like, "What's going on with this kid?" So I talked to his mom. She goes, "Well, he's going to join the Army," and I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense." So I went over and I said, "Sit down, son. we don't do that in this family, dude."
Right.
So he joined the Marine Corps, and he's an infantry Marine now, and his life is miserable. You're welcome, Donnie. You'll thank me for it in 10 years.
Yeah, it's good. It looks good on the resume. It really does.
Yeah. So, you got to remember too, it was a different time, right? So I went in 2005. I mean, it was full blown OIF, OEF. It was just different, 2 wars, simultaneously. I mean, everybody was forward deployed. Millions and millions of dollars of equipment was being thrown at it. It was just a different time. Talking to him about it now, it's a little bit different, So no, he wasn't pushy at all. He was super stoked. I'll tell you that. It was kind of like one of those things. He wasn't in Vietnam, but he was a Vietnam era kind of guy. At the end of Vietnam, so he was in I think late 60s, early 70s era. So it was just something that wasn't a huge part of his identity, I should say. Mm-hmm. You'd never see him with a Marine Corps hat or T-shirt or anything like that.
What was your MOS?
0311 and then 8152. So rifleman.
Civilians.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means. You just said a bunch of numbers.
So I was infantry. So in the infantry, you have the riflemen, which is the ones that are clearing houses, kicking down doors, front lines kind of guy. That's what an 0311 is. Then you have 0331s, machine gunners. Then you have 41s, mortarmen, and then everybody else exists to support the 0311, essentially.
You have a name for those people? What?
Bullet sponges? Yeah. Yeah. But so it's actually a funny story. I went to the recruiters. 9/11 had not just happened, but I was too young to join. Then I got kind of wrapped up in life, and I was like, I was in New York as a paramedic. I was like, I just want to go kill terrorists. That's literally how I felt at the time. So I walked in the recruiter's office. He said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to kill terrorists." He said, "Okay, there's 1,000 of you guys. Basically, why should we let you join? Just stop talking. You need to take the ASVAB first." So I took the ASVAB, and my score was through the roof. And this guy's like, "I don't."
What's through the roof?
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, you should.
So it was like,
you can't come into this house and say your ASVAB.
Well, I qualified for Intel. I'll tell you that. So I basically qualified for any
you
job.
qualified for Marine Corps intelligence.
Yeah, so that's basically they issue you crayons, and you can and you have the knowledge to read
like
off
being
of
the
them.
Shortest kid on the fucking Down syndrome bus.
Yeah.
That's fine. Go ahead.
So basically, my recruiter, it took him 2 months to talk me out of infantry, and we compromised, and I went security forces. So security forces, they I don't want to say this because the infantry is going to be mad at me. So I won't say it. So you are infantry, but your first 2 years you're stationed at a different specialized unit where you're either protecting nuclear weapons or you're with the fleet anti-terrorism security teams. Those are the guys that go in and rescue embassies when they're overrun. So you either wind up on one of those 2 teams. I was in the PRP program, which was the Personal Reliability Program, and I dealt with nuclear weapon security. So, but again, at that time, 2 full-blown wars were going on, so everybody important was overseas. So it was actually the lower ranks that were doing most of the security. And all the equipment was overseas too, so we had crap, which was fine because that's where it needed to be,
So Thomas says... well, actually, it's Carrie says, "Ryan, do you miss being active?"
No.
Yeah.
It was like a prison sentence.
You don't get out unless you. Well, there's 2 ways to get it. If you get out medical, that's probably a little different. Most guys that get out medical didn't really want to get out, got out because either they had to or realized that they couldn't do what they wanted to do anymore. I was the latter. But so when you did your 4 or 5.
5 years.
You were
at that time, security forces was a 5-year contract. Funny story about that. I originally had a 4-year contract, because I wanted to go infantry. And then I did security forces, which I signed a contract that was still 4 years. And just so everybody knows, the funny stories about recruiters are true, because when I got to MEPS to ship out, he goes, "Oh, by the way, we just need you to sign this contract. It's just your last one before you leave." And then I got to Paris Island and I found out that last one was a 5-year and not a 4-year.
Yep. Funny story. So my recruiter, I'll say it. He was boatswain's mate, first class, Garcia. His first name is Jason. He was in Littleton, Colorado. I probably have a little more information if you want to find him. Fuck him. So I called him from basic. So
wait, you got phone calls, and that makes sense.
Well, not A school first day. Well, no, you did get weekend. You did get weekend, Ricky. After week 4, you did get weekend. You were allowed to make 3-minute phone call.
We got 1 minute. We got it was a 30-second phone call when you arrived, and it was a script, and they were screaming in your face.
Same thing.
And I got there at like midnight, and my mom was like, "What the?"
We're Department of the Navy. Certainly not from a physicality standpoint, but from a procedure standpoint, it's almost identical. Like very much so.
Oh yeah, the steps. You get there, you make your phone call, then you're going to
Navy and Marine Corps, and then that similarity changes the moment you get to your barracks.
Yeah.
There's no comparison between.
Well, I was on a Navy base, and it was the greatest thing in the world. I had like an apartment, and all the Marines I talked to lived, 4 guys to a room the size of a bathroom.
Not in boot, but in school.
No, when I got to because the Marine Corps doesn't have nuclear weapons, the Navy does.
Right.
So I was on a Navy base with Navy barracks. Yeah, it was awesome.
Right. And once again, A school and C school were completely different than boot. But procedurally, boot is identical. Up until the point that you're up at 0400 and you meet your DI or your RDC, then it completely changes. Then there's nothing similar about the boot camp between the Navy and the Marine Corps. It's nothing even close, okay? Marine Corps is a million times more difficult and mentally and physically challenging than the Navy. But everything up until 0400 and you pop your rack for the first time is exactly the same. So we got our 30-second phone call. You read from the script, "Mom, Dad, I'm here." So that's basically it. So, but with my recruiter, we had a chief, petty officer, and then we had everyone else was petty officer first classes. So Garcia comes to me and he's like, "You've got like 9 speeding tickets. You can't join the military with 9 speeding tickets." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "I need you to go take your ASVAB. We're going to go do that. And then we'll figure out these tickets." I said, "Great." So got a 98 on my ASVAB.
That was aimed at you there.
I know.
And so they were pushing nuke. And I'm like, "No, I'm not doing, I want Intel. I want to be Jack Ryan. I want to go to Intel." They said, "No, there's no Intel bill at open." And I said, "I don't give a shit. I'm not joining that. I'm leaving. I'm going to go in the Marine Corps. And the Marine Corps, I guarantee I will qualify for whatever the fuck I want. I'm leaving."
Yeah. At any branch, yeah.
Yeah. But specifically the Marine Corps, because Intel and Marine Corps, no offense, nothing disrespect, but Marine Corps people are hard chargers. They're ground pounders. They are warriors. And the people who join usually are mental type alphas who are not necessarily like Ryan or other people who join Intel. They're a different breed. They're a different type of person. So felt comfortable going in the Marine Corps, doing the training, but also having a fairly high score where I would qualify for the MOS I wanted. And the guy's like, here's the deal. We'll figure out about this, but we got to get these 9 speeding tickets. So I have a standard questionnaire. We have 13 questions for you. And these are the 13 questions of death. It's very similar to a background check on getting a weapon. Like, have you ever been psychologically admitted to a hospital? Are you addicted to drugs? Do you have a felony? These questions are the kiss of death. And anyone that you say affirmative, you're toast. In the military, if you don't say the truth and then they do your SSBI and they find out differently, then you're cooked. So he's like, "Have you ever smoked marijuana?" And I'm like, "Yes." And he's like, "No." And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "No." And I said, "No." And he goes, "Yes." and then I said, "Hey, man, listen, I don't feel comfortable with this. I smoked pot. I was 13 years old at a Def Leppard concert with my brother, and I smoked a joint. I just want to be transparent." He's like, "No, you didn't. And they'll never find out." Now, Now, I mean, I've done SSBIs, and I was naive, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure, put it in. And then they asked a couple of other questions, and I was like, no. So basically, the recruiter tells you to lie. So you go down there,
100%.
tells you to lie. Well, I was in my second C school. I had graduated honor man in my A school. I was top 1%. I was first in my class, which means that I get a C school of my choice, and I get to choose my billet wherever I want to go. Wherever I want to go. Here's a map. Here's all the bases. Here's all the units you can work with. Pick, you're going there. You're number one in the class. So I get my first C school. Well, then I get meritorious advancement, and I get an additional C school. And then I wound up getting a third school. But between the second school and the third school, when I was in strike, which is basically what we did in Iran, which is planning those type of things, whether it be a ground assault or whether it be an incursion or working with a smaller special forces group or doing bombing or anything else, I get a letter. And IS-1 Cockler is sitting in class. And I know it's supposed to be your interview, but we're doing this anyway. So IS-1 Cockler is sitting up there. She's a female. She's 6'1", and IS-1 Cockler goes, Spear. I said, yes, ma'am. And she goes, you are to report to the Navy Exchange Hotel, room 16, now. And I'm like, oh, fuck, finally getting the respect I deserve, IS-1. Fuck yeah, I'll be there. But little did I know that there was an investigation and CID was there. Mm. And I walked in, and there is a guy in a suit with his sleeves rolled up, and his jacket's on the back, and he's got a respirator machine, and he's got a polygraph, and he stands up and opens up a badge and says, hi, Criminal Investigative Division. We are running an SSBI background investigation, and we've reached a snag in your background check.
This is for your clearance.
Yeah,
I went through the same thing.
And it's the big one, right? So this is SSBI. That 340 some odd effing pages, $750,000 clearance check, and you had to fill out like 32 pages in triplicate. So they knew everything about me. So he's like, Mr. Sperry, just want to let you know you're going to be going through a polygraph today. And they don't warn you.
Nope.
They don't warn you. And they tell you, just like I told you. There's no warning. You don't get like hey, your background has a snag in it. You got to go do this, and you prepare for it. No, they pulled me out of fucking class. And 5 minutes later, I'm at the next, and I am sitting in a room, and it feels like this guy's got a light. Where were you on February 16th? You see? And so he straps me up, and he starts asking questions. Now, I probably could have asked for a lawyer, but then I would have lost my clearance, and I would have been done. I could have asked for some sort of representation or speak to my duty officer, duty commander. So I just started asking him questions, and he's like, have you ever smoked marijuana in your life? And I'm like, yes. There was no lying. I'm just like, yeah. And he's like, when? And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And I told him, he's like, have you ever threatened to blow up a business? And I'm like, fuck, I feel like these questions aren't loaded, and I feel like somebody must have said that I did.
Yeah, they talk to everybody.
And I'm like, no, I've never. Have you ever threatened to kill another person for not paying you for a service? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, no. And the questions just kept coming, and they were, have you ever dealt any type of illicit substances or with hallucinogenic properties? Was the secondary. And I'm like, yeah. And it just fucking, dude, it came out. So I was with my brother, and he sold a bag of mushrooms to some fucking apartment when he was 17 and 18, and I was in the car with him. And I remember it because my brother said he was going to, and I just was honest. And so this guy, I'm there, and I must have looked like I just got done banging the entire senior football team, and I was in church, right? So I'm just a fucking mess. I'm like, my entire crew's over. I'm going to have to fucking out process. I'm going to have to jump off of a building and break my femur or something. And I look at the guy, and I'm like, so how did I do? And he looks at me, and he goes, that is the worst. Listen, I'm not supposed to say anything, but that is the worst question you could possibly ask. Don't ever ask that question again. It is the number one thing that lets us know that if it was inconclusive, that you're guilty. So I'm giving you some advice because you're a good kid. Shut your fucking mouth, take the results, and ride it out. And I said, okay, but how did I do? And he goes, you failed miserably. And that's pretty typical for just about anybody. And if you make it through this, we'll teach you how to do it the right way. But right now, you're in a world of trouble. You're in a world of shit. You've been through $1.5 million worth of training, and you're in trouble. So I would go back and do your job and hope that you've made a big enough impression on your command that they can treat you like the 1% that make it out of this room after lying to the Department of the Navy. And I'm like, oh, like, is that all? And so I went back to class, and nothing. I swear to God, dude, 6 weeks, not a fucking word, nothing. No follow up.
Sweat it out.
No follow up. And so I talked to my company commander, and he's like, I would recommend that you pull every relationship you've had in the world and get letters of reference from everyone you possibly know. So my brother wrote a letter. Please don't hate my brother because of what I did. And my dad wrote a letter. He had a Congressional Medal of Honor friend at the golf course. The senator wrote a letter. I mean, it was just like I had never had so many nice things said about me that were completely not true of people who I did not know. And got out of my secondary C school, and then NSWAG was I'm going to finish. NSWAG was releasing, and they were opening up Naval Special Warfare Activity Group, which was intel with the teams. And I had locked that in on my secondary class. I was going to get a third C school, which is unheard of. And the instructor, which was IS-2 Striker, came up to me and said, I want to let you know NSWAG starts on Monday, and you're in. And I turn around, I said, may I ask a question? He looks at me and goes, no, just shut the fuck up and don't talk about anything ever again, and just be quiet. You're in the class. We're moving on. And that was it. Never heard about it again. Never said anything, but they gave me my clearance, and I rolled up with TSSCI without a problem.
So when did you make this phone call to your recruiter? That's how the story started.
So this is sorry, she did it, Brian. I was going to be done. So the interesting.
Well, I've never heard this part of the story.
So the interesting thing is that I was now in NSWAG, and I was making phone calls, and I was literally having a phone sex experience with Stephanie Stevenson. Hi, Stephanie.
I highly doubt she's watching, but
I don't know. I was pretty impressive. So I was on the payphone, and of course, there's two things in that payphone booth. There are quarters, and there are also alcohol swabs and wipes, because listen, this is the love center of the fucking place, and everybody knows it. You go there and you talk to your sweetheart. So I was talking to Stephanie Stevenson, and there was a guy that just got in process that day, and he just got from boot. And IS-1 Smith was a black guy who had the shaving shit from the world. He literally looked like those new rabbits that have all those things growing out of him. He was doing muster, and this new kid came in, and he gave shine to IS-1. And he said,
what does that mean?
This ain't boot camp anymore. You can't tell me what to do.
Oof.
So we had 6 guys who were going to roll through BUDS. And they were doing their IS courses first. And they came up to me, and when I was in the room with, of course they're talking in the TV, it's like fucking 0100. The only people who are up are the watch. And I hear them talking, and I'm in that room, and I'm kind of like talking to Stephanie. We're about to have an experience here, and I'm kind of like, fucking go to bed, right? You're breaking the unspoken rule. And so I walk out there, and Daniel Taco comes out, and he goes, Spear, go to fuck to bed. You're not going to like what's going to happen next. And if you don't shut up and get the fuck to bed, you're going to experience what we're about to do. And I'm like, fuck you, Taco. What the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, you know that little prick that was at muster? We're going to fucking teach him a lesson. They all had shower shoes. So they're going to blanket party this douche plow. And I'm like, you're going to get us all fucking, Christmas and Thanksgiving are coming up. You guys are going to get us buddy fucked. They're like, just go back in your hole and make your phone call, and we've got this. And then, dude, like 5 minutes later, I just hear thwap, 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 and they just beat the living shit out of this kid. And George Peterson, who was fucking Taekwondo guy, gets underneath him with a blanket, straps down his chest, and holds him under his rack, and guys just fucking wailed on him with shower shoes. And this poor kid, I mean, just this fat kid was literally like Gomer Pyle. And he's crying, dude. Why are you kicking my... So anyway, Next day, fucking captain's mast, dude. There's a massive investigation. Marine Corps comes in. They do a full panel to do a full inquiry. They tear down the barracks. They bring everybody in for interviews. I'm getting to it. So Taco, and I'm the only one who everyone knows who did it. You know what I'm talking about, Ryan?
Yeah.
But I'm the only eyewitness, right? And is Spear gonna fucking narc? Is Spear gonna get in front of the Jack Nicholson tribunal and wimp out? And of course, I was a smart kid, and I went in, I was tight, I was shined, my salutes were crisp, everything was perfect. I recognized everybody's epaulets, I knew all the ranks, there was Marine Corps in there, I just crushed it. And the guy comes in and they're doing the investigation. This is over weeks. They're doing this and nobody spills the beans. They bring everybody in and they start fucking like bringing us into group chats, and they bring in colonels. They bring in fucking captains, and they're putting the screws on us. We're going to cancel Christmas. We're going to cancel Thanksgiving, and nobody will squawk. We were tight. Nobody would squawk. So we get into the tribunal, the captain's mast, and I'm the last witness, and I walk in. And all 6 of those guys are sitting there. They're looking at me, right? And now this time, instead of being all tough, they're like, please, Matt, don't say anything. You fucking cocks. So I get in there, and the Marine Corps leans into me, and he's like, so, Spear, you've got some great records here, don't you? You got some really good numbers, don't you? Blah, 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 blah. He's like, I got one question for you. Do you believe code reds and blanket parties happen in the military? And I'm like, sir, it would seem evident that they do in this case. Not the right thing to say. And what the fuck is wrong with your fucking shit fucking mouth? I swear to fuck, I'll put my boot up your fuck. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, I got him distracted. I've moved him off now. Now I take the hit. I didn't say anything. He's like, you tell me you didn't hear anything? I'm like, no, sir. He's like, how is it possible that you didn't hear anything? I said, I was actually focused on my female friend on the other line, and I was doing things that were inappropriate to be doing inside the phone booth at Quarter C inside Dam Neck, Virginia, sir. He's like, are you telling me you were jacking off? And I said, sir, that would be appropriate. And he's like, well, no stupid motherfucker would say that in front of a military tribunal unless he's telling the fucking truth. Don't you think? I said, sir, yes, sir. Dismissed me. I walked out, and Taco wound up taking the hit. At the end of it, he came in and said he did it. And they're like, so you're telling me you held this guy down with a blanket and hit him over 300 times with a shoe by yourself? And he's like, yeah, that about sums it up. They just wanted to throw it out. The point is that I called my recruiter, and I was so pissed at all that shit that happened. I called him up, and I said, hi, is this IS-1 Garcia? I think it was, I don't remember what his name was. I think that's what it was. And he goes, yes. And I said, hey, this is Petty Officer 3rd Class Spear, IS-3. And he goes, oh, how are you doing, bud? How are you doing? And I said, I'm doing just wonderful. I was wondering if you could give me command's number for the recruiting station of Denver. And of course, his asshole puckers. He's like, why do you want that? And I said, because I'm going to be filing a formal complaint because you told me to fucking lie about smoking marijuana. Turn into this long thing. And that was it. There's the whole story. Ryan, thanks for showing up today. We really appreciate having you on the Don't Unfriend Me show. I'm sorry there's no more time. So that's the story. And I wound up going back to that recruiting station. And it was IS-3. And that's where I got my meritorious advancement to IS Petty Officer, so an E4.
Right.
IS-3, I was a seaman, and I wound up getting meritorious advancement because I actually recruited 5 people into the United States Navy for 90 days TDY. He was no longer there, but I went back to the Denver recruiting station, and that's how I got my meritorious advancement to my crow. So there you go.
Nice.
It's a long fucking story, bro. I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to take...
Oh,
anyway, you joined the Marine Corps. What happened? Did you do anything fun?
Well, I was stateside for the majority of my enlistment. Like I said, all of the... everything was needed in both wars. So we were kind of stuck behind and left there, which was, fine. We had a job. We did it. We did it well.
Did you like any of it, or did you just
hate it? It was kind of cool when I would be in charge of moving a nuclear weapon from a storage facility to a submarine, and I was in charge of the convoy, and I had to plan the convoy, and I was in charge of 20, 30 Marines with machine guns, and I was 21 years old. Like, that was kind of cool shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not normal. Like, nowadays, that's not normal. That's something a gunnery sergeant's doing or a captain's doing. But like I said, back then everybody was forward deployed. So I was a corporal doing that kind of stuff.
Did you ever do any time in Rocky Mountain Flats in Colorado? Because they had nuclear disposal over there.
No. Never. So I had the chance to go to, it was the Air Force nuclear base. I think it was North Dakota or South Dakota.
Yep.
But I didn't go because we were doing the START treaty inspections with the Russians.
Yep.
So I used to run those too. They got a couple of Winnebagos that you sit in, and their inspectors come, and they're all KGB, every last one of them, the inspectors, and our inspectors are all either CIA, NSA, and it's just a bunch of spies looking at a law book, measuring things. But the START treaty sunsetted, so I could talk about that now.
Yeah. So you did that.
Uh-huh.
You were loading boomers, obviously, because you're not loading SSNs with nukes. Because if you are, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So you're loading boomers, and you have a qual to re-up, right? So you were in good standing. I'm sure
A great standing, yeah. I mean,
you're set rep.
When you're like the security force nuclear. So it's like the same category as guarding the president, which is Yankee white. So if you see the Marines that stand outside the president's door when he opens up, salutes him, or they're outside, Marine One, the helicopter, those are Yankee white Marines. They're under the same security force umbrella as the nuclear guys in Fast Company. It's just tiered differently. So the Yankee white guys are also the same silent drill platoon guys. So you can go two ways if you go Yankee white, which is either three ways. You're either at Camp David, the White House, or you're doing the silent drill platoon. Then the next level below that is the nuclear weapons guys, which is either Maine or Kings Bay, Georgia. And then you have the Fast Company guys. Those are the guys. So we all, similar to you, we all get to security force school. You don't know what you're going to do. And they did exactly the same thing. A bunch of intel guys, Navy intel guys, NCIS comes, Naval Criminal Investigation, and they hit you with, your polygraphs and your questionnaires. Have you ever done drugs? Have you ever drank? And if you don't qualify for a clearance, you went to Fast Company because you didn't need a clearance in Fast Company.
Did you get clocked on your background investigation?
No, I did not. I mean,
see, it's weird because we didn't have to answer that unless they found a discrepancy.
No, so they
you guys had to because you were insensitive. Once we got our TSI, we did, but not before.
Yeah, so they hit us with that there, and everybody wanted to go Fast Company because
Sure.
that was the
Sure.
So there were guys that were literally lying that they used to do. I smoked weed my whole life. Okay, you don't get a clearance, but you get to stay in, but you can't guard nukes or the president, so you're going to Fast Company. So that's how it was then, and what I understand now is a little bit different. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad I did it. I mean, as a 21-year-old kid, I started with a secret clearance, and then I got audited up to a top secret clearance. And then, I mean, I'm standing there between two countries that have been in a Cold War forever, nuclear adversaries inspecting each other, and I'm the guy in the middle.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was cool. I was just right place, right time,
Before you go any further, the donation didn't pop up. My last one. So Utah Wood, thank you very much for the $5. Oh, shit. But it did not pop up.
Utah, I did already say thank you for that, but I'm sorry it fell out.
Let me try this one.
It'll work now. Yeah, the window closed.
There we go.
So thank you, Tamar. $10 for Tamar Bush. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. We know it's a quiet Sunday, but we do have quite a few people on, so that's good.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so you're in the crotch. You're at 4.5.
Well, yeah, rewind.
Oh,
so you do your duty for 2 years.
Oh, so you did something after that.
At Kings Bay. Then you go to the fleet. You go to the infantry fleet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right. So you do 2 years. You got 1 year of school. So I'm 3 years in with 2 years left. I'm ready to go to the fleet. I'm I did my job. I did my obligation. I want to go to the fleet. I want to kill terrorists. Like, that's why I joined. I'm a New Yorker. I was like 17 years old when 9/11 happened. And that's what I want to do. I want to forward deploy. I want to fight this war. My captain says, nope, not yet. We're extending you here for another year. So I got extended to stay in Kings Bay for another year.
Okay.
And I was pissed. And
yeah.
then,
why did they? Why?
They were just so shorthanded.
Shorthanded. Okay.
They were shorthanded. They had already invested in me. I already got my secret to my top secret, so I had access to different things that other people did not have. Right. even people in my command didn't have. So I got to the START treaties were like a huge deal. When the Russians were coming, they could come basically anytime they wanted, and you would get a little bit of a heads up because the Russians don't want you to move anything. But it was stupid because both countries knew everything about the other country, and it was dumb.
Okay.
It didn't really do anything. But yeah, they extended me because they were shorthanded, because what they started doing was rolling back the security forces contracts 2006 because we had all these big battles that were going on. Like in 2009, there was March, Afghanistan. So, I think 3rd Battalion, 6 Marines went to that. They started rolling back on the security forces contracts, and it was harder to get out of it once you had been doing it for so long and kind of had it down, because it's an important job.
Sure.
I'm not an important person, but the job was very important. Does that make sense?
No, but no, I disagree, but that's okay. Yes, I understand what you're saying because you're humble.
Yeah. So then I got stuck back. Then I went to the fleet and I went on a MEU. That was really it. That was the extent of my service. They wanted me to
tell people what a MEU is.
It's a Marine expeditionary unit.
Were you actually fleet?
It was the 22nd MEU at Camp Lejeune.
Okay, so you're in Camp Lejeune. So you didn't do any time aboard a vessel.
Yeah, I was on a ship with Amtrak's, and I couldn't tell you the name of the ship. It was like 20 years ago now, 18 years ago. It was about an 8-month deployment.
So it was an LCC, yeah? LCC vessel, larger vessel, but
I'm a Marine. I don't know. They say sit on this boat, and I go okay.
Smart.
So yeah, but it was a Marine expeditionary unit. So there was aircraft carriers there. It was the first one that ever they put Ospreys on, Osprey helicopters. But I wasn't on that. I was on another ship that had Amtrak's.
Okay, so first ship, it could either be an LCC or it could be carrier base. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. I went on the ship.
Where were you stationed?
Camp Lejeune.
Okay, so this was
the 22nd MEU.
Okay, and
like
what
2009?
What fleet? Do you know what the fleet was?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, yeah, I don't know that.
That was at the end of my enlistment, man. I was ready to get out,
dude,
and I was like,
I don't remember half the shit I did. Anyway.
Yeah, but it was Amtrak's, and we dropped out of the Amtrak's out of the ship just to practice all the time. Ran around in circles on the deck for PT.
Yeah.
Just walking around in a circle with our packs on, training for nothing.
So you had a flat deck.
Yeah.
Probably an LCC. It's amphib.
Could be. Yeah.
It's probably an LCC amphib.
Yeah.
Does the
But funny story.
Yeah, go. Does the Wasp sound familiar to you?
No.
Does the Kitty Hawk sound familiar to you?
Yeah, maybe.
Kitty Hawk sounds familiar. That's
maybe.
she's a carrier base.
Yeah.
So you were at a Camp Lejeune. Yeah. I don't know what fleet that would be. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Funny
story. I was young, cocky Marine, right? Thought Navy guys were a bunch of wimps, pussies, whatever. Because I was young and dumb and had never been in the Navy. Then I was on ship. And when you're on a ship, it's kind of like messing with the Marines at war, because the Navy's in their element and they're doing what they're doing. So there was an example. This was 2009. So this is Captain Phillips era Pirates, Horn of Africa. Mm-hmm. There was some sort of alert that went off that the entire Marine expeditionary unit was heading towards a direction because some oil tanker, they got some word that was being overrun by pirates, so they were sending us out there to handle it. They weren't sending us out there to handle it. They were really sending the Navy out there to handle it. So they did what I think, if I remember correctly, was called restricted to quarters. Does that sound familiar?
Yep, confined to quarters.
Confined to quarters. Marines were not allowed to leave their racks, get downstairs, we're on alert, just stay the hell out of the Navy's way. I, as a young dumb Marine, did not do that. So I was running up the stairs to get up at the deck, and all of the Navy guys are running to their battle stations. They're running the battle stations. The lights are going off, and I got my ass kicked by probably about 10 of them. I caught like 8 elbows to the face just because I was standing on the stairwell, and I got the shit kicked out of me and had to go back to the squad bay and pretend like the Navy did not beat my ass. So that's a true story. So ever since that moment, I have the highest respect for the Navy, because when you see the Navy in their element, it's a different story. Yeah, they're not land guys.
They're not pussies either.
Yeah, no.
I mean, and listen, you don't. Marines are a different breed, but
they have a different mission.
There's also
put a Marine on a boat, he gets his ass kicked. See?
Well, there's different. Okay, so quickly, there's 4 groups in the Navy that you probably just really don't want to fuck with. And the first one is Seabees. Seabees, anybody, there's 4 really rates that wear BDUs, that used to wear BDUs instead of dungarees in the military, Navy.
Yeah.
One is Seabees, and they wore camo, BDUs, battle dress uniform.
Right.
Then you look corpsmen, also not pussies. Train with a Fleet Marine Force. They're not wimps. Corpsmen are badass. And honestly, most Marines will tell you that they will lay down their life for their corpsmen because
100%,
they keep them alive.
Yeah.
Next is Special Forces. So could be UDT, team guys, special boat units, SDV teams, all BDU wearing. And then intel guys, depending upon what their job is intel, right? So if they were attached to NSWAG, these are guys who train. They jump out of planes, they fucking swim, they hang out with the team guys, they deploy with the teams. Very different type of Navy guys. If they were BDUs back then, they had a level of respect, but they're not forward deployed. I mean, these are people who are not necessarily outside the wire. They might be on a base, they might be on a FOB, but completely different. But most Marines were very respectful of the Navy guys. Yeah. They understood that most Navy guys, most guys who had been to sea, is that Dixie Cup wearing shitbags are not necessarily what all the Navy guys do. You know what I mean? Yeah. By the way, there's LHD and LHAs as well. So you were either on the WASP, which I thought that was the first thing that came to mind. The Iwo Jima, the USS.
No, I would have remembered the Iwo Jima.
Or the America, the San Antonio, or the Gunston Hall. And those were the only Osprey base. And it, like an LPD.
It was the first one. It was 2009. It was the first MEU ever with Ospreys, which was not exciting because they were famous for being death machines.
It was probably the WASP, but could have been attached to the Kitty Hawk group too. So that's Naval Amphibious Forces, and I think that's out of Norfolk. So it would be attached. The MEU would be out of Norfolk, but you could be stationed in North Carolina. But it was attached to Norfolk, would be your deployment station.
Right.
It doesn't matter. The point is I'm just interested from a standpoint of I know a lot of guys on the WASP. But
the thing, you know what I remember the most
about
being on ship? How long the chow hall line was.
Oh God, it's fucking horrible. And
it was like an hour and a half to get chow.
Easily.
Yeah.
Now, were you out to sea?
Yeah.
Oh, then you definitely understand. And after the first 30 days, forget about it. You're on powdered eggs. There's no more.
Yeah,
milk.
all the good stuff they hit because you can't store the fresh food.
But Navy food is amazing.
No, I'm not complaining compared to Marine Corps food.
It just sucks after 30 days. Once you're 30 days deployed, it sucks. Now, sub is completely different.
Yeah, that's different.
Sub is different. Sub food is always good because it's all high protein and they eat the quality shit.
Yeah.
But if you're on even on a carrier, you're on powdered eggs and powdered milk after 30, and that just sucks.
Yeah.
90-day deployments are, you get 6 months, then you're just like, it's just horrible. You're just like, please go into port and I'll sleep with a lady boy. I mean, it's that bad. You're sick of fucking your buddy in the rack, so you'll hit anything.
I know.
$2 make you holla.
Love you long time. You're like, I don't know, crabs. I can get rid of them. Just shave. Whatever. I'll sleep with anything. But see, they closed Subic Bay. Hong Kong was essentially the best districts in Hong Kong were cut off. So when I was in, it went sterile. And we were in 95, 96, 97. We did we ran security force for the Hong Kong takeover. So when it went back under communist rule and left England rule, we ran the security task force. That's another reason I thought maybe we might have cross-pollinated, because we ran security for that the Hong Kong takeover.
No, we did cross training with the British Royal Marines.
Oh, so did we? Where?
Because they have that. We did it in the Highlands of Scotland.
Yep.
So we went to I went to mountain warfare training with the British Royal Marines, and those guys are friggin' hardcore.
Yes, they are.
I would definitely say they're tier 2 level.
Yeah, we did Shanghai Marines too. So we did 4th and Shanghai Marines, and that's where we did ours with them. We
climbed a mountain a day for 6 weeks straight.
So we've done some of the same. We cross pollinated. Now, when you were in after, I was in 94 to 99. So
2005 to 2010.
It's different military than what we both were served in, 2 very different militaries.
Our time was unique, but it definitely. That's kind of reason like why I got out, right? So I definitely wanted to go to war. I wanted to fight. By the time like I could have re-enlisted and definitely deployed, it was 2009. Iraq was kind of winding down. Afghanistan was huge. I had lost so many dear friends.
Yeah.
because I was in the infantry. So
Right.
the guys I went to boot camp with, guys I went to infantry school with, guys that were in security forces that transferred to the fleet that didn't get extended for a year. Even today, I could name you probably 5 dear friends that have Purple Hearts that lived. It was just a different time, and I got really the more and more I learned, because the evidence really started coming out with the WMDs and all the BS that the administration had pushed forward to the people to go to war with Iraq. It really kind of, when I had that personal connection with those people that are gone forever, and like, for what, this wasn't a Pearl Harbor moment,
Yeah.
with Iraq. I mean, Afghanistan's a different story.
Well, right. I think
yeah.
most people who served would tell you, especially OIF, OEF, that the mission was completely different than the first Gulf. Even first Gulf was kind of like, what are we doing? Yeah. But I think most people will tell you is that people became disenfranchised very, very quickly with those 2 incursions.
Yeah. And that was kind of one of my motivations too, that if I could have a voice, maybe I could stop that in the future. So, or at least aid in it.
You got out, and then where from there? What was the
So I got out. I got out in 2010. It was February 6, 2010. Like I said, it was like getting out of prison. I still had my clearance, so I started working private security. I did personal protection work for some pretty big people. Then I had I kind of missed the action, the tactical stuff and the kind of the camaraderie that came along with it. So I joined the sheriff's office. I was a police officer for a very short period of time.
How did you hate that?
I wouldn't say I hated it. I would say that in this day and age, to be a police officer, you can't trust anybody, even the people around you. When I was on a Jacksonville, Florida. I'll tell you right now. I was a Jacksonville sheriff for the Jacksonville sheriff's office, and Mike Williams was the sheriff. And they arrested more officers probably than they arrested criminals on the street.
Oh, really?
So I had personal friends of mine that got arrested because they did you would do your overtime, or that you could work a secondary job. But if you messed up your timesheet by 2 hours, they were arresting people for felony fraud,
what a chicken shit operation.
Theft. Yeah. His name is Mike Williams. Look him up.
Jeez.
So that's kind of how it was. So, I just was like, and you don't make any money. I think I was making $15-16 an hour or something like that.
That's not worth the risk, dude.
No, it wasn't worth the risk. And, I worked in Zone 6, which was, it's actually in the police department. It is known as one of the calmer sides, but there's an area that's called Papa 1 that's down off of Moncrief, like where Moncrief and Lem Turner are. The Papa 1 area gets pretty hairy. So I was in some hairy situations, and it was actually me and my partner, we were kind of talking one night. He's like, can you believe like what we're making? And I'm like, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because, I'm a friggin' infantry Marine. I'm an action junkie, Right. That's what I want to do. I want to be in the fight.
Right.
I'm crazy. So I don't know why I enjoy it, but I just do. I get that adrenaline rush. So, but it just wasn't worth it, and it wasn't worth it for the fact that I might get injured or killed, like whatever. That just comes along with it, right? That's the verbal contract that I sign, and I understand when you engage in actions like that or a gunfight. Like I completely accepted death at a very young age, that I may never come home or whatever.
Most people do.
Yeah.
And the ones who don't usually don't put themselves into that position, and if they get put into it, they find a way to self-select. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it wasn't that. It was the thought of getting arrested for doing nothing.
Yeah.
That.
Well, of course.
Yeah. That
constant looming over you.
Yeah.
You
the constant, and then you never know if they're watching you. It's just like I was just like I'm just done. I lived my life in the Marine Corps where they control every aspect of your life, even when you can use the bathroom, to going to the sheriff's office. Now they want to control your social media posts. Where I made this decision that I was just going to be free, and I was going to live a life where people were not going to be able to control me, and I'm going to say what I want to say and do what I want to do and act how I want to act. And if you don't like me, then you don't like me.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
It's Olivia at the Dumb Show, not Olivia.
Yes, I saw that.
It's not Olivia at
It was-
thecumshow.com. I was
I
like,
saw that.
I think everybody wants to join that mailbox ASAP.
That was
Olivia
not
at
me.
thecumshow.com.
That was
See if
not
it's
me.
available. I mean, see if the cum show is available.
Not me.
That's a whole nother.
That's my OnlyFans email.
I
but
think we could probably make more money in donations by having thecumshow.com. So, Olivia, folks, we have a new night and a new show, and it'll be on Fridays.
that wasn't me. I typed dumb show and it autocorrected. I was like,
I'm
okay,
aware.
whatever.
I saw that. So, Ryan, thanks for showing us. Where can people find your podcast before we kind of get into the politics of the side? So where can they find your podcast? Tell them a little bit about you and how you started your show. And we'd love to hear about that.
So they can find me at ryanfsamuels.com. That'll give you a link to basically everything. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, YouTube, every podcast platform, Apple Podcast, Spotify. We're doing, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, we're going to start doing live at 9 p.m. on weekdays. And yeah, so like I said, I kind of like the vaccine mandate. I had always been super into individual liberties and individual rights, and I read a ton. Thomas Aquinas, John Locke, Thomas Jefferson. That I got really super into individual rights and kind of studied very hard and got a very deep understanding of it. And that's kind of what my show is based around. My show is kind of based around that, our government has gotten way too big and out of control. If you were to resurrect Thomas Jefferson, or even the most extreme examples, the Federalists like John Adams, or he's not even the worst, but Alexander Hamilton, who by their definition was basically a communist. If you were to resurrect him and bring him here today, he would say, "This is completely insane. What are you guys doing?" So that's basically the premise of the show, is that, we talk about how far government has gotten out of control. The things that they're doing now violate your basic principles of human rights to live freely without infringement. And yeah, I mean, that's really it. We talk a lot of politics. That's what the whole show is about.
So founding father, not even founding father, time period of between Civil War and the American Revolution, of the person who is most respected who shouldn't be, and the person between the American Revolution and the Civil War of the person who is the least respected who should be respected. Give me your top two.
Number one is Abraham Lincoln.
You hate Abraham Lincoln.
I am not a fan of Abraham Lincoln. It's not a racist thing. Go ahead and try and say it. It's not. It's a government intervention thing. Where Abraham Lincoln basically used his position of authority to stop states from voting on either secession or certain things where they were opposing interstate commerce. He would be my number one.
He suspended habeas corpus.
He suspended habeas corpus. Yeah,
pretty important.
Yeah, and use slavery as a moral justification for the things that he was doing.
Correct.
Which was the main point of that.
But wasn't he honest about that? Didn't he say the three things is that if I
but they're not in any history books.
well, no, but the point is that he was fairly honest about this. Slavery would either destroy the United States if I try to stop it. It'll destroy the United States if I let it continue, and if I do nothing, it'll destroy the United States. So all three options, none of them are really a choice that I want to make. Do you think he made the right one?
That it's easy to sit here and criticize a president, right?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
No matter who the president is.
Well, especially Biden.
Yeah.
he makes it easy.
He does.
But what I'm saying is by the time something comes to a president to make the decision, it's gone through a lot of very high-level people who were unable to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
So any president gets kind of a grain of salt with that with me. I think he could have done things a lot better. I don't think that the Civil War... There's one thing he could have done that nobody ever talks about, and I'm going to bring it up, right? Flag it. Everybody flag it. And when you have a conversation with somebody who talks about how great he is, ask this question.
We're bookmarking it.
Or bookmark it. The Fifth Amendment to the Constitution, right? That's your right to remain silent, whatever. You can invoke the Fifth. But it also lays out what's called eminent domain. Now, eminent domain was a controversial subject during the Constitutional Convention. Hamilton made the argument that, well, the government needs to build roads, so the government should be able to seize your property, pay you for it, and then lay a road over it, right? That was the Federalist argument. The Thomas Jefferson argument or the Madison argument was, no, that's a violation of an individual right. The government does not have the power to step in. Regardless, call it a compromise. It made it into the Constitution. It's the law of the land. Instead of going to war and losing, I don't know, more people than almost any war in history, Lincoln could have simply invoked eminent domain on slavery, purchased the slaveries, freed them, and then paid people fair market value for them, passed a resolution that outlaws slavery, an amendment to the Constitution, whatever. That would have been a great alternative to war, right?
It would have been a choice.
Yeah.
I think the result ultimately would have been the same, because you would have been leaving the South, which was behind in innovation for decades. And we saw that because they didn't get into the Industrial Revolution until like the 40s.
Well, Jefferson talked about that when Hamilton and Jefferson got into an argument when in front of George Washington and John Adams that the Treasury Department was being established, and Thomas Jefferson's like, I don't understand why the United States would need a Treasury Department. And they talked about economics and finance, and Thomas Jefferson, you could look it up, it's an actual quote. Yeah. Thomas Jefferson actually predicted the Civil War and said, well, if you do that, all the money and industry is going to be solidified in the North, and all the agriculture is going to be solidified into the South, and you're going to cause a national divide. And
that's exactly what happened.
So
financially, it would have had the same result, because you still would have had to replace slave labor and somehow indemnified it with paid labor, which the South wasn't capable of doing. Technologically, they were 20 years behind the North. From an education standpoint, the same. They were very much rural farmers. And it's what we see with the Rust Belt today versus the coasts. Yeah. Is this is always what you have. You're going to have the have and have-nots, and somebody needs to do the labor.
Right.
So I'm with you. I think it was a very difficult decision for Lincoln. I don't think everything he did was perfect, but in the end, killing Americans is a horrible solution to a problem, no matter what happened. And I don't think he was going to get out of that no matter what.
And it was the behavior of the troops too, burning individuals' homes, ripping up the railway tracks, just massacring families and towns.
Yeah, slash and burn agriculture.
It was not pretty. Yeah, it was not pretty.
No.
Well, none of this would have happened if John
fucking
Adams.
Hessians.
Yeah.
Fucking Hessians. It's their fault.
The least appreciated, I would say, although people will tell me that he is very appreciated, and I would agree to a point, but he's also vilified, would be Thomas Jefferson, to answer the second part of your question.
Jefferson was a genius. He was a modern day Da Vinci and Michelangelo for the United States, and does not get the just that he deserves. I mean, if people really studied Jefferson, he was an entrepreneur. He was an engineer. I think he surpassed Benjamin Franklin in so many ways with innovation and understanding of complex problems and complex issues. It just happened to be on paper and parchment, and not necessarily was a physical invention. But if you look at Monticello, it's a modern marvel.
Yeah, and he engineered the whole thing.
Yeah,
he invented the swivel chair.
The guy's like I said, Benjamin Franklin got a lot of love, and so did Edison. But I think Jefferson was one of the most unsung heroes. It's nice that we somewhat agree on that.
He tried to outlaw slavery in the first draft of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, and he banged a lot of African American females too. He was
Sally Hemings, man.
That woman, that guy got around, and he liked the darker meat. So you got to say,
well, there's a deeper story to that.
Literally,
Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings. Sally Hemings was actually his sister-in-law. So his wife's father had a child with his slave. And that child was Sally Hemings. So it was his wife's sister. And when his wife passed away, he was completely distraught. And that's when he started the relationship with her sister, because they kind of looked alike. She was just mulatto.
Nick says, I might be wrong, but the South said war would occur as long as Lincoln got elected. I think it's because Lincoln's positions really put the South in a pigeonhole that they had no choice. Listen, for anyone to say that it was diametrically opposed, like the North was righteous and the South wasn't, that's not true at all. The South was in an uncomfortable position that the North was 20 years before. It just so happened to be that the North realized with their modern innovations and their connections with Europe had the ability to no longer need slavery for a means of production.
Otherwise, they still would have had it.
The South was not in that position. And by the North saying, well, you just need to come along. And they're like, well, wait, we'll be posterior to you from a financial standpoint, an education standpoint. We don't have the infrastructure to do what you need us to do. You need to supplement this and somehow help us move into the modern age. And the North is like, you'll fucking figure it out. And they're like, no, we won't. And so when people say it was an argument about free labor and paid labor, no, it was an argument about slave labor and paid labor, and the South did not have the means of productions to replace 4 million people. It's just not something they had the capability of doing.
It also had to do with representation, too.
Sure. Well, we know that with three-fifths compromise.
Three-fifths compromise, yeah. So it was a power. It was
Sure.
power. Who's going to hold more sway?
Right.
And, that's one of the things that Thomas Jefferson got a lot of heat about. I actually talked about this in a video that went viral because somebody had asked me the question because I'm a huge Thomas Jefferson fan, and the lady's like, "Oh, he had slaves." Well, yeah, but everybody had slaves. But Thomas Jefferson hated slavery. He owned more slaves than anybody else in the world, especially when his father-in-law died and he inherited all of his.
Yeah. Stonewall Jackson was not a big fan of slavery either.
Yeah.
People think that everybody loves slaves. That's not true.
No.
And yes, some slaves were treated absolutely horrendously.
Correct. Yeah.
Thank you, Fisher from Rumble Chat.
Thank you, Fisher, for the $5.
You're welcome for the Sunday show.
But to say that there's not a lot of slaves that were treated fairly well would be counterproductive to what actually happened with the namesakes that were slaves that came out of there. When you look at plowshares and you look at land shares and other African-American families that were released and treated somewhat as citizens should be treated, there were many prestigious families who rised up and came out of the North and even the South in some cases. But yeah, listen, slavery wasn't good for anybody, but for anyone to sit here and pretend that it was all African-Americans,
No.
it's a complete fucking lie. The Chinese were slaves. The Irish were slaves. The entire world was slaves at one point. It wasn't just... And Africans had slave traders, for God's sakes.
Here in the U.S. before the Civil War.
Before the Civil War.
Yeah.
I mean, we had hundreds of years, and maybe just make it sound like there's some white autocracy. It's not true. Slavery was everywhere. But remember this. The first two countries to realize that slavery should be abolished were both white. And that was England and the United States. England did it first, and the United States followed. So can you give us some credit that, yes, we might have done some bad things, but we also learned faster than anyone else in the world ever had before. So...
Yeah, I never owned a slave. So.
And you got a free boat ride over here, so stop bitching. So moving, totally racist. That was totally wrong, and I apologize. I've been hanging out with Ryan too long. Ryan, let's get into some other stuff. It's great to hear a little bit about you. It's great to talk a little bit about American history. I love American history.
Oh, me too, man.
It means the world to me. And Olivia is just sitting here going, okay, I've had enough.
I was never in the military, so I don't have any stories.
Oh, do we have a question for our Sunday show? I don't think we do. So we're just
because this is not a regular show. So we do not have a question.
Okay.
But we can still do a question if you want. We just won't have a donation.
Oh. Well, we're going to kind of have to, considering that I built the slide for that. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Yeah. So there's some things going on. So it's now 10 football teams that have male. Now, I want to be completely candid. I was a male cheerleader. Yes, I was.
What?
Yes. Yep. Yep, I was.
I was a cheerleader.
Was that before or after or during the Navy?
It was after. It's funny. Yes, I was a U.S. Navy cheerleader. I'd dress up, and it wasn't for shellback, but it had something to do with my back for sure.
You know they don't do that anymore. They got rid of
can't.
shellback.
They're pussies. Yeah, I got my shellback coin. It's right up there in the flag. I earned it. Fuck them.
You have to eat the hot dogs.
No. That it wasn't as degrading as it was, but
yeah,
there were certain people who were kind of. The whole degradation and dressing up like a woman and transvestite bullshit, that was really, like, in my opinion, East Coast fleet. They did some really crazy shit.
Yeah.
West Coast was a little more grounded. We were already over there, and we were with the Japanese and the Indonesians, and we're in Australia and Russia and Hong Kong and Taiwan. So although it was a little stranger than most, the modern West Coast Navy was probably a little bit less of shellback process than what happened on the East Coast. But I mean, you still were degraded, and you still were a pollywog, and you still got doused and loused and treated like complete shit.
I think it's awesome.
But honestly, it wasn't. The intel guys, they didn't fuck around with too much. But the boatswain's mates, And like the BB stackers and those type of guys, you know, just the roughnecks, they were a little weird. But IS we kind of stayed away from the regular Navy. You know what I mean? We kind of, we were the princesses of the Navy. They didn't see us. We were in a JIC most times, 12-hour shifts, and then we were in our rack. You know, we didn't hot rack with other guys. It was just a different type of Navy. So yes, I was gay. So I did cheerleading at Eastern Wyoming College as a scholarship. Is that after my Navy College Fund, which basically took care of pretty much 90% of all food, rent, tuition. There was like 10% they didn't take care of. So I had a $1,000 a quarter scholarship from spotting in the Navy. And I would go out, spotting as a cheerleader in college. And I would be a lifter and a spotter. And I would carry the big, "We've Got Spirit," you know, the big megaphone. And that was it. And yeah, I did it. But that's very different than the dance squad. So everyone's like, there's been male cheerleaders. 4 of our presidents were male cheerleaders. Yes, they absolutely were. That's different. This is dance squad. Shake your ass, show your boobs, snap your hair up, and give me a sexy look in the fucking eye as you eye fuck the camera. That's different than cheerleading. 10 teams, including the New England Patriots. Minnesota Vikings are now doing it. And here is a sample of the first game. And I'm just saying, Louis bringing the heat, man. Homeboy is bringing the heat. Here it is.
He can dance.
He can dance. Here it is. See, there's the move where they snap their head up and I hump the camera. That's not okay. I have no problem until there. This is not something a man should.
Those are dance moves for females for sure.
Yeah, right. This.
But.
Oh no. That makes me feel weird. Not happy and pent. Makes me feel very weird.
He's a better dancer than me.
Oh,
I couldn't do it.
He's a fantastic dancer, but that's not good. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the arching in the back. No. He looks like Brian Krasenstein, honestly.
Oh, you got to make a video with AI now with Brian Krasenstein's face on
That's
it.
fantastic. We can do that. All right. So should this shit be in football? I mean, they're also doing the end racism in the background. They're doing that crap again. Olivia, your thoughts?
I really don't care.
I know that, but you have to care because it's on the show.
Here's the thing. They're openly gay football players in the NFL.
Sure.
There's a handful of them.
Okay.
So why can't there be a handful of male gay cheerleaders?
Why do we give a fuck if they're gay or not?
Exactly.
I don't care if they're black. I don't care. Just score. Score or stop the other team from scoring. I don't care about anything else.
Yeah, I mean, more power. I mean, like I said, he's a better dancer than I am. My God, great. More power to him. And you know what? I couldn't do that. I was on the dance squad when I was in high school, but I am not in high school anymore. And more power to him. And you know what? If you have a problem with it and you go to a game, you don't have to watch him. And if you have a problem with it and you're at home, majority of the time, they do not show the cheerleaders at home.
That's such a woman answer. So, I mean, why should it be there anyway? The point is, yes, we cannot watch it. We can boycott. But, I mean, I just started actually watching football again with my son. I was actually excited. And now I got to see this guy who honestly makes me feel very uncomfortable and makes me question my sexuality. Ryan, what about you? Is this okay with you? Do you care? Do you not care?
I could care less, dude. That doesn't bother me.
Right,
I mean, obviously, if he's a chearleader, that's how he's going to be.
No.
So
dance.
any male cheerleader.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Listen, I was a tight end. I was on a wide receiver.
Well, here's the other thing.
Yeah.
At least he's not transgender, and at least he's not saying I'm a girl and I'm going to be a cheerleader. When
that would be different.
And he's
not dressed. He's not wearing a fucking G-string.
He's not wearing the knee-high boots. He's not wearing the skirt.
I said the same thing.
He's dressing like a guy, and just because he can dance and he's got the moves, and you know what? He's probably more feminine than half the cheerleaders on that team anyway. So, and every girl needs a really good gay best friend anyway. So,
but is he in the locker room?
I'm guaranteed he's in the locker room because honestly, if he's very, very gay, none of those women care because most gay men have better fashion sense than women anyway. So It's
I'll be honest.
it's unspoken rule. Women need a gay best friend.
I don't think the women care as long as he doesn't fuck the players, because that's what they're trying to do, right? They do that for $125 a game so they can somehow possibly like put a ring on one of those football players' finger. That's really what they're there for.
Yeah, they're not allowed.
The
NFL cracked down on that.
Yeah, but you and I both know what is going. Where are you going again? Oh my God, women. So here's the thing. Yes, the NFL cracked down on open dating, but it still happens. I mean, so
kind of like the military too.
So we don't care. So we're pro. Do whatever you want. We don't watch the cheerleaders. We probably turn it off and go get beer and buffalo wings when that shit's on anyway.
I would laugh about it, and sit there and talk about it. Yeah, but I mean, I don't care. It's not like now if you put a chick on the football field, that's a different story.
Well,
you know,
right. So dance away, shave thy legs. And you know what I'm saying? At least they're not wearing a wig and have breast implants and they're trying to be a woman. At least this guy's like, listen, I just want to dance. I just want to dance. So dance away, dude. Dance away. Here's a great comment of the night. Eric King says, 1776, the United States was founded by Abraham Jesus believers. In 1786 is when Islam Salem attacked the United States. Less United States needs to open up an elite military base in Israel. Are you having a fucking stroke?
The United States hold on.
Just don't. No, you're not going to. It's impossible. It's literally an enigma wrapped into a puzzle, wrapped into a crib key.
Well,
this is undecipherable.
Precisely because of Israel, we don't need a military base in Israel, which is why Israel is so important.
And it saves us about $6.6 billion a year in having an intel apparatus that understands human intelligence.
A very good intel apparatus.
Human intelligence, mind you, in a Saudi Arabian, Middle Eastern style Muslim area, which is 96% Muslim. So we don't know. We Afghanistan and Iraq should have taught you that we don't know what the fuck we're doing when it comes to human intelligence in the Middle East. We are always behind. And how many doors we kicked and knocked that were wrong is like, it was literally like, just like lotto. We were, let's see what's in behind this door. Door number 3 is, oh, fuck, it's a family. Let's go to the other door. It's a family. This door. It's a family. This door. Kalishnikov. It was a crapshoot. So we don't know what we're doing. So you don't care.
No, about that, I could care less.
Okay.
Now, you put him in front of a group of kindergartners talking about who he is and what he does and why he is the way he is. That's a different story.
So let me so here's a great point. So let's just say, what if this guy, straight. Okay. And they have daddy day at kindergarten, and he comes up and he's like, listen, boys and girls, I'm a dancer for the Minnesota Vikings. Is that okay?
Well, I mean, he wouldn't be there for Daddy Day because he's not a dad, right?
Right. But
most likely,
let's just let's do what liberals do and pretend. let's.
Oh, he says he's a dad, so therefore he's a dad.
You know what? Listen, here's a great example. Let's say he goes to a local high school. Would it be okay for him to go in there and talk to our kindergarten class and say, I'm a dancer for the Minnesota Vikings and I'm a guy? Is that okay? Is there anything wrong with that? Is that a big deal? No, it's not grooming, is it? Yeah. I mean, listen, if they're going to do this, it's a gay guy who wants to dance, let him dance. Who gives a shit? Victoria, Broadway plays, nurses. We've seen this in our culture. Can we just be okay that there's effeminate males who may want to do what's predominantly pigeonholed as a female thing? Is it okay? I'm all for it. I don't care. I really am with you, dude.
Well, there's a couple I know there's people listening that are going to say, but oh, Ryan, I've heard you oppose men and women's sports. Yeah, because there's a power dynamic there. There's an advantage here. There's no advantage here on this. He's guy's
better
not
than
taking,
most of them.
Yeah, this guy's not taking gold medals away from cheerleaders. He's just flaunting this stuff.
And they have said that these guys beat out the women just because they were better and more athletic and better dancers. And this demonstrates right here that men are superior physically to women. And that's
Correct.
Not to be disrespectful. It just shows you men are even better at sexy dance team moves than women are. And that should tell you something. And let's
be honest about it.
I mean, let's just be honest about it. I mean, I seriously doubt that guy's going to go out and throw for 370 yards with no picks and have a 98.6 quarterback rating. He's not threatening to be on the team. He's threatening to be a dance girl. I think there's enough positions for dance girls. All right, good enough. This guy, on the other hand, shouldn't even have a license. California CDL truck driver turns around in an emergency lane on an open freeway, 60 miles an hour, and kills 3 people. This one I know you're not okay with. Let's watch this, and we'll add some comment to it here in a second. I really love the Unsolved Mysteries music that they attach to this. It's kind of stupid. Yeah. That is, I don't care what the safety rating is on that Honda Odyssey. Airbags are not going to save that. First of all, I want you to understand is that he is going to go underneath the semi-truck. And that bottom of that trailer is essentially a guillotine.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone who is not ducking at this point is cooked. And based upon the speed and the look at how close he is. I'm telling you right now, the moment that this happened, there is no way. He literally was in what? 200 feet? There's no way. Going 60, 70 miles an hour, you have 2.5 seconds to react and stop. And I don't even see any smoke on the brakes. He's gone. And of course, this guy is just like, what the fuck just happened? What happened to my my truck? Obliterated.
Now, it says illegal truck driver. Does that mean he's an illegal immigrant, or does that mean he has no CDL?
That's a great question. He has a CDL. It was issued by California, but he is an illegal. He is not supposed to be in the country and was issued a CDL by the state of California.
So we have 2 problems here.
We do. Well,
the first problem is he shouldn't be in the country, right? The second problem is that even if he was illegal, he was still issued a CDL, which is obviously their clearing process is not that great.
Now, somebody keeps saying that this happened in Florida. It's my understanding that this one was specifically in California. There was another one very similar to this, very similar, that happened in Florida. But either way, the question is it doesn't matter where it happened. We're not blaming liberals for this. We're blaming the policies of the states for giving illegals driver's license and CDLs to operate heavy machinery, this case a semi-truck, on our open roads.
And are they making it easier for the illegal to get it so that they're employed?
Right. And is this DEI or whatever? But
right. That's because that's what I'm saying. It's like number one, you had the opportunity to identify the illegal and, lay down consequences for them breaking the country's law and entering the country illegally. But we didn't do that. Then we gave them a CDL to where even after going through that, what's supposed to be a very rigorous process that's very strict. I mean, drivers are held to a very high standard. Truck drivers, if their dispatchers will literally pull them off the road if they've been driving more than like 6 hours or something, and then they're mandatory to take like a certain break or something. It's something that's highly regulated.
Well, right. Most drivers have to keep a logbook and for 8 hours, and then they have to pull over to the side of the road. And some laws are you ride for 8, you sleep for 8, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
And, there was old, whether this is allowed nowadays now with electronics and everything, is that there would be 2 logbooks. The logbook that you would have that you would show the weigh stations and show the check centers, and the ones that you wouldn't. What? Okay. Okay, is she okay?
She seems fine, yeah.
Okay, so
but that's why I had to vacate the room for a minute.
No, it's fine. Breakups are hard. Olivia,
your daughter needs you. I was like, I'm there.
Okay, so just for those of you who don't know, Hayden broke up with her boyfriend yesterday, and she's a wreck. She's not doing well. She's all busted up. So how about we do this? How about we go to quick break and allows everyone to hit the toity, and I call it the toity because I was a cheerleader in college and I was in the Navy.
I call it the potty because I'm a nanny.
Yep. And
that's what I use every day.
Matt, Lisa was in Florida when she passed the wreck. And from what I understand, he was from California with a California company. All logs are electronically. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I once again, my understanding is that this was a California driver with a CDL from California. And what state he was in, I did not know. So thank you for telling me he was in Florida. That clears up a lot of confusion. But either way, he was California driver.
He looked like he didn't care afterwards.
No, he doesn't. He looks like ultimately that listen, I don't know if he cared. I'm assuming that he's a human being and has a soul. And just because he's an illegal doesn't mean he doesn't have a soul. But what I will tell you is that being an illegal immigrant should most assuredly not allow you to drive with a California driver's license or anywhere else. And it's absolutely the sanctuary city policies of California that allowed him to get a license. And that's bullshit.
And clearly at a lower level than everybody else, considering he killed all those people.
Well, that's my point. And turning around, we've all done it. We've all turned around in an emergency U-turn on a highway freeway. I have. I'm not going to lie. But the difference is, and the key difference is I'm driving something that weighs a couple tons that has all the ability to get out and maneuver and make that as least dangerous as possible. A semi-truck going through a 12 to 13 degree down into a crevasse and then back up to a 12 to 13 degree and have enough power not to get stuck and not have to do a 6-point turn. This guy could not literally make the turn and put himself into a situation where he was running a death trap on the freeway. To me, the guy should be held accountable, should face manslaughter charges.
Well, if he's in Florida, he will.
He should.
And then,
Yeah. So now that we know what happened, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to be back. Folks, donations listen, today was not planned. We wanted to have this with Ryan, and we know it's going to be a slow day. We anticipated it. But if people are listening, we've got 100 plus on Legacy Media. And then we have another, probably 60, 70 listening. If you have not had a chance to donate to the Donut and Friend Me Show, you like the content, you like the show, you like the conversation, please go to thedumbshow.com/donate and help the show out. Doesn't matter if it's $1, $2, $3. If everyone donated right now, we would hit goal. We'll be right back, and we will continue with this conversation. Then we got to get this guy on the road because he's going to drive to Florida today and hopefully not take anybody out in a semi-truck. Did you bring us? You have a big truck, don't you?
Not a big truck, just a regular truck.
What is it? Dually?
Nah, it's a 1500 Silverado.
Oh, yeah. It's a very good vehicle. Dodge, right?
Chevy,
same thing, right?
They're basically all the same.
Is Chevy and Dodge are the same, aren't they?
No.
Oh.
Chevy and GMC.
Oh, that's right. I
thought GMC is like more of a luxury. I used to have a GMC.
I thought Dodge, GMC, and Chevy were all the same.
No,
that was Dodge, Pontiac, and what were the
Buick?
Yeah, was it?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about cars. I'm not a big
fan.
Me
either.
I'm a Honda guy, to be honest with you. Here it is. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations, but after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
We've got
Can't donate? No problem.
100
Just
in
share
Legacy.
the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Legacy's Facebook,
Thanks for helping
Twitter,
us stay
Instagram.
loud, proud, and completely
And then
uncensored.
on
You can
Rumble
donate
and
at
Winkin,
thedumbshow.com/donate.
50 to 60. So we've got like 165 on right now. For a Sunday. Yeah, usually on average.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so freaking I can't do it. I can't untighten
That's
it.
what she said.
That's what she's. Oof. Coming in with it. Pound it. Pound it. Pound.
Child gets 15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Totally tubular.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm gonna punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something
There's no
honest.
but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old. Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
Better than all
Hayden,
of us.
he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh, yeah, cut it.
Baby shark, doo 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 doo.
All right, welcome back. We were discussing what we wanted for dinner, and thank God we don't have to feed Ryan. So we already gave him breakfast, and that's about all he gets. If you want to stay another night, I'll give you breakfast again, but it won't be Tammy's.
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
we don't.
I only eat once a day on this diet, so.
Is that true?
Yeah, you don't. So you're eating so much fat and so much heavy. Like I eat steak a lot of time or eggs, so you can basically have meat and eggs. That's really it, and cheese. So you just eat so much fat that you're just not hungry. Carbs make you like super hungry.
Are you doing any type of exercise?
So I have a philosophy about exercise.
Oh God, here we go.
I was forced to exercise every day in the Marine Corps and the police department.
Yep.
And now I just don't do that. So, now sometimes I do, but nothing crazy.
You still got to move, right? You got to be ambulatory.
You do. So, but I mean, we have a farm, so I'm always out there walking around, feeding chickens, chasing ducks.
Here's the thing: take the weight off, and then ultimately, once you do that, you're probably going to have a much more effective workout routine. I mean, I was in your position, and the thing that I did was start the right diet with a little cardio, and was able to shed 60 pounds. Yeah. And you see me now, I'm in good shape. I don't have any fat on my body necessarily. I mean, I've got a little bit, but it's not like excessive, and I take care of my body. But so once you get to that point, you may be like, hey, you know what? I enjoy lifting weights or running or working out or whatever.
I used to love it. When I got out, I loved it. I got huge. There was a point where I was freaking huge.
Well, you're a big dude. You and I were both shocked at each other's size. We're basically the same height.
Yeah.
What's that? Okay, she needs to eat. Did she run today?
No, she hasn't done anything.
Tell her she needs to go do her run, and pity is for the weak. Tell her to go do her run. Dad says run. If she gives me any shit, I gotta keep her. I know but she can't get depressed. She can't quit. She's doing so good. She's got to get out and just at least do her run and get some anger out.
Talk. I told her, I was like, you don't show him he won. I was like, you walk into that school on Thursday and you are dressed to the nines, and you walk into that school every day with your head held high.
Was he rude?
No, it was a very nice message. She read me her message, and then
What did it basically say?
Oh gosh, it was so long.
Just give me the cliff notes.
There is no cliff notes. It seriously was like this long.
And he just said there's no chance. And
no, his was actually that long as well. So it was very respectful.
What?
Very nice.
Wait, did he say there was no chance?
Yeah. He just said that he doesn't have the feelings anymore, and it's just.
Dude, kids shouldn't date.
So
this is why they don't understand what they're doing and what they're getting into. And girls are so much more advanced. I have a theory on this: is that on the curve of relationships, girls are on an absolute straight line, and their line may be from here to here, but boys travel the same distance, but their altimeter goes like this on the learning curve. And I believe that their drop point gets there almost at the same period, but they take a much longer way to get there. And they ultimately get to the same point as women, but they take the long way around the barn. And it just takes so much longer for guys to understand what girls get to very, very quickly. And I believe that has to do with the biological clock of women have to be able to have children, become fertile, and have a maternal instinct much quicker, where men, ultimately their point is, I'm just going to spread my seed. And I'm just going to go and have as many kids as possible. The problem with that is that the emotional connection that's required in a relationship, men take a lot longer to get there. And they just don't have that emotional investment until later in life. That's my belief in the process. Whether that's accurate or not, I don't know. I mean, Ryan, what do you think? Do you think men are capable at a very young age of understanding the complexity of a relationship? Or do you think it's just all about sleeping with as many people as possible?
I think it depends on who you are. I think there's a certain natural aspect to it, which I agree. If you like primal state, if you put us all back in a cave, but I do think that certain people do have certain influences in their life from a sociological perspective that change or influence how they look at dating.
So, like, when was your first meaningful relationship?
So in high school. So I'll give you an example.
Sure.
My parents split up like before, like right when I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months old, right? Barely saw my dad. As a result of that, I would have gotten married right out of high school to my high school sweetheart. So it was just, for me, it was
But were
different.
you ready? You may have got. But
No, I would. No, I wasn't.
Well, that was my
emotional.
point. You
Yeah.
may make these stupid choices and
Yeah.
go, I'm ready for marriage at 16 or 18.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you are. My point is I think that the male psyche develops differently than women. Like, okay, every woman knows, and Olivia will attest to this, knows her white wedding and knows when she's going to be married and what it's
Yes.
going to look like at like 10 or 12. And guys are like,
We're naming
like,
our kids.
like
at that age,
I'm going to
too.
go eat the poop in the litter box. And then when we're 16, we're like, I want to nail her. And women are like, I want a sensitive man, and I want to.
They don't want a sensitive man.
Right. Well,
They just say that.
okay. Once again,
I landed my wife when I started being mean to her. I was friend zoned my whole life, and then I met her, and I was mean, and now I'm married. So there's that.
so
It's like just friends. It's the just friends.
Liv,
of my
right?
life, yeah.
You're like the guy who's just like Tinkleman. So what?
Skis in his jeans.
No boombox in the rain for me anymore. Those days are gone.
So what do you think, Liv? Is it true? Is that women advance quicker because of the expectation of childbirth, and men take longer to develop because the emotional attachment isn't necessary to copulate?
I don't think it has anything to do with childbirth. I think it has everything to do with maturity level. Girls mature.
But why do they mature
faster?
Why do they mature faster?
I don't know. I mean, I can't give you the reason why. I just know girls mature faster mentally and emotionally. And we've got the capability to understand human emotions before guys do. I mean, look at our children. Look at what Hayden was doing at 12 and look at Ethan. I mean, Hayden had her cell phone and she only got taken away once, and Ethan he's a mess
Is
right now.
this the girl who called CPS on us and
Yeah,
lied with
that's
over
true.
37 pages of hate that was all bullshit? Is
Yeah,
this
that's
the
true.
word?
Yeah, but there was some outside influence on that one.
So, but here's, okay, I think my point is being lost, is I'm not saying that women are more complex because they're forced into some sort of contrition to be more mentally available for relationships. What I'm saying is I think there's a stipulation applied to girls is that when you have a child, there will be another person involved in that processes, and they will be there to get married and rear the child together. I think that understanding for women is bred into them is to be more open and accepting to relationships at a very early age, where I think boys' introduction into the male-female relationship is introduced by Pornhub, Penthouse, and Playboy, or Titty Max. And there is a very kind of like an innuendo or a taboo on discussing that with boys and their parents.
I think a lot has to do with it is boys have two heads. And majority of the time, young boys think with their second head.
That's my point. Women are not driven by their hormones.
We are not driven. There are some, yes. And when we get there, but
listen, I'm not saying women can't get freaky deaky. What I'm saying is it's not the predominant thing that drives you. Guys are like, sex. Oh, Mongo want food, Mongo want fuck. That's really what we're
guys,
thinking.
and all they're looking at is like, she's cute. I'd hit that. Women look at men and they go, he's cute, but how's his personality?
Are you looking for a suitor or are you looking for a sex toy?
We're looking for a suitor.
Okay, we're looking for sex toys.
Exactly. And that's the huge difference. I mean, the guy in my school, I mean, I grew up in a very small school, but he was the cutest boy in school. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute.
Was this the one in the wheelchair?
No.
Oh.
He didn't go to our school.
Was this the one black kid in the entire state in Montana?
No. He was not the hottest guy in school.
You guys got him, didn't you?
Yeah.
You guys took him out?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
So anyway, I never thought he was cute. Why? Because he was the biggest asshole in the entire world, and I hated him.
See, and
I looked at personalities, and the guys I was always attracted to in high school were not the cutest. Other people would be like, eh. And you know what? I didn't date very many guys in my school.
But you were different. You were different. You were completely like your mother. You were a glass menagerie. You were untouchable and unbroken. And then you got a little taste of freedom and you turned into a harlot.
Yeah. All of my serious
you slept with
relationships
like 3
were...
guys in 3 weeks.
No comment, because you got the dates wrong. It was 1 week.
See, she was engaged, and she got, first of all, a guy literally raped her, because I don't care what you say, you were so drunk he took advantage of you, And that guy, if I ever met him, I would put my fist through his face. Just letting you know. You don't.
It wasn't all him.
No,
it wasn't me. I'm not blaming me. It was my two best friends helped me there. Well,
and understand you're not emotionally damaged from that because you were willing and still, but you were drunk as shit. Then the next.
Yeah, I used him for 4 days too. So after.
Oh my God, I don't need to hear this. And then anyway, the point is that you got a taste of freedom and you went the way that most guys do. Ryan, are we missing this? Is it just that women physically have to become more mature because they could be a parent and have a responsibility?
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is like the nail on the head. So they bear their regard when it comes to sex. Men are not going to face the consequences, right? Or they have a higher or lower likelihood of facing the consequences.
That's a good point.
Of women are there. It's going to be them. Not number one. It's going to be inside of them for 9 months. And then it's going to come out, and where's it going to go? They have it, and it's their responsibility.
That's a good point.
So they're more reluctant and more selective of the person that's going to have it. Not to mention the person they're going to possibly have this child with. They look at genetics, right? That's why they like tall guys, strong guys, defenders, confidence, money. Success,
who can provide
power, providers,
sense.
Because then that's security and whatever.
So ultimately, we should take this guy out, is what we're saying.
Yeah, I don't know who we're talking about.
We're talking about Hayden's ex-boyfriend.
I said that the day I walked in here.
We should just eliminate
in
him.
the earlier Obama.
Let's just take him out. The pig. All right. So here is Swalwell, who basically looks like he's had a run of herpes, and it's just never going to give up.
He's going the Elon Musk kind of thing with the T-shirt and the jacket.
No, he looks like a homosexual Don Johnson. And even Don Johnson looked homosexual with his white and like pastel colored T-shirts.
Know what's up with every time he appears in a video, he looks worse.
He looks like Keanu Reeves dresses, but just without the John Wick and the handsome nature. But he basically said something today, and folks, this is going to be our last topic because we're losing money like I am so discouraged after what happened the other night, and now this. I'm just going to go hang our head in shame. We're probably not even going to come on Monday. You might not even see us for a week. We're just going to go into a hole. Here is Swalwell talking about how he is going to bury the GOP. The saying is that when someone says someone did something wrong or broke the law, that you're going to bury them under the prison, which basically means you're going to kill them and bury them under the prison. You're going to get rid of them. Well, he says this about the GOP. I'm not trying to be sensitive. I'm just wondering, is this enough to call Secret Service? Should we be this sensitive as the left is? Should we take offense to this? Because to me, I think this is this language is dangerous. You guys tell me, especially after we had one of our presidential candidates and current president with an assassination attempt of at least 3 that we know of, and 2 that were very, very prominent. Tell me what you think.
In the earlier Obama years, there was the, of course, old adage that at this point is old. When they go high, or when they go low, we go high. It seems that fighting fire with fire sort of meets them at that low point, I guess, to use that metaphor. Do you have any concern?
Folks, I just got a commercial ad for Boy Butter.
God.
I don't know.
Seriously?
I don't know what.
Oh, that's mine.
But
seriously,
all that cheerleader talk.
Oh,
I'll be honest with you.
Does he have a tattoo that says Matt on his chest?
It's Cyrillic.
Okay.
But it says
2 guys. Seriously,
it says buy one get one half off. It looks like both are going to get off. To be honest with you, buy one get one half off. We miss you, so
Promo
we're giving
code.
you a little something. Use code BOGHOHO. Grab your offer. Boy Butter.
Oh my God, gross!
I'll be on Boy Butter boners. Buy butter merch. Can I be honest with you? Listen, I just want to be transparent because I don't hide anything from my viewers.
Oh my goodness!
No. Let's be honest here. I have bought Boy Butter in the past because it is the best all natural, non-water based lubricant known to man. I don't know. What is this shit? Did you sign me up for this, Liv?
That would be.
This was Ryan.
This would be whoever's listening. Do you remember when we were talking about my wedding ring? And
no, that's different. That was a commercial done by Google. But listen, first of all, I want to say thank you so much that you think that a 51-year-old man would require Boy Butter. But I'm okay. Ryan, do you use boy butter, and do you know what to the Marine Corps?
What happens in the field in the Marine Corps stays in the field. If it's not gay if you're wearing boot bands.
I think it's kind of funny how that came up when we started talking about Swalwell.
Of course.
Chinese spy fucker.
Well, we went from the cheerleader, and then the second we hit Swalwell, these guys were like, yeah, these guys are definitely gay. Hit them with the.
Hit them with it.
This is
when could overreach or could backfire.
No, when they go low, we're going to bury them below the Capitol. That's what we're going to do, because this is about protecting democracy. And right now, as you see, D.C. has been militarized, and we were weak as Democrats, frankly. We passed under Speaker Pelosi in the House of Representatives in April 2021 D.C. statehood. And what happened in the Senate? A few in the Senate refused to break the filibuster, and look where we are today.
So in order to protect democracy, we have to kill our political opponents. Ryan, am I summing this up right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he could mean it metaphorically, but listen, the language of the left has been this way, right? For a long time. And
should we be upset by this? Should this bother us? Should our politicians, our elected officials who are there to represent the constituency and the idea of their districts, be saying that they're going to bury their political opponents under the prison, so to speak? I mean, is that okay, or are we being pussies?
No, I don't think that's okay.
Hold on, Ryan needs to answer this
yeah,
one.
I think that I'm super. Listen, so I know you're aware, Matt, and maybe some of the viewers are not aware, but on the congressional floor, the Senate floor, if you're a representative and you're speaking, you're allowed to say anything you want,
yes, up
until including threatening to kill the president,
correct,
no matter what, without fear of persecution. There's a reason for that. The way that our country is set up, it's set up so that if you ever had to throw over a tyrannical government, you could. Should an elected politician say that? I mean, if I don't, I'm trying to figure out a way to word this.
You seem very like you conflicted over this, like I am. Like,
yeah.
All right, let's do this. Let's take decorum, which is all congressional representatives, whether it be state legislature or Senate, are ruled by a certain etiquette that requires a level of professionalism and decorum at all times. That is to address the senator, state legislature by their title, the esteemed or respected representative from whatever, and that things are supposed to be handled, especially legislation, oversight, or regular House or Senate rules are to be done in a professional, non-emotional manner. Is it okay for them to do this? Yes, we know it's legal because they're protected to do whatever they want under the rule of their job, to say whatever they want, minus threatening to murder people. But doesn't that fall into this when you say you're going to bury your political opponent? Does it break decorum? And then is there a legal precedent to challenge him, especially when these people are protected by Secret Service, especially the climate we're in? Should this be looked at as a legal issue or a decorum issue is what I'm asking. It's a long way around the barn.
Yeah, I don't think it should be looked at as a legal issue, maybe a moral issue, I would say. I think it's nice to actually hear a Democrat say what they actually want to do, and which is wipe the Republican Party off of the map, which is to lock up their political opponents like we saw them do with Trump. It's nice to have some honesty. And, part of me wants to say, send them to the Secret Service, investigate them by the DOJ. You could interpret that as a threat, a credible threat, whatever, just because I hate them. But I don't know, man. I think political speech, you should be able to basically say whatever you want to say.
Fair enough. Liv?
I think it's a decorum. I think he is Maxine Waters' wingman. In all honesty, he's taken some serious pointers from Maxine. But it doesn't surprise me because the left has been saying this for the last 8 years. Ever since 2016, it's just all violence. And get in their face, lock them up, blah, 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 blah. And they have, weaponized the political system against the opponents. And that's what they've been doing. So it doesn't shock me and it doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
They do it in a way to where it's just they're saying stuff,
Right. I'm just,
but
just
it's
asking
definitely
questions. I'm just noticing.
Exactly. It's a decorum thing. Why should our elected officials be talking like this?
Okay.
I mean, this is who people look up to, and I mean, they're a public figure.
Okay.
And I think that they shouldn't be able to talk that way. I mean, they do, but they
January
shouldn't be
6th.
able to.
Yep. Well, see, and listen. But January 6th, what a great statement, because this is Ann Johnson, who's running for office, who is in Texas, District 134. And here is where the foo is on the other should. Now, here's a Democrat, and they're all up in arms. Governor Abbott needs to be impeached for threatening the life of Democrats, because they are all just supporting Swalwell. Oh, he's just using a euphemism. Come on. This isn't serious. He's not threatening anybody. And now Republicans are kind of like, are you serious? Because this is what they're doing. Now, all the Democrats are saying that Abbott needs to be impeached. This is a death threat. He needs to be investigated. And you have to sit here and say, okay, if you're going to be this much of a gaping vagina, how do we not fight fire with fire and treat you the same? Listen to this. Tell me this isn't the exact same thing, but even more ludicrous, because there's no imminent threat here. Listen.
Today, Governor Abbott said that he holds a lot more bullets in his belt that he is ready to use if he has to against Texas House Democrats. Let me be clear. I'm your former chief human trafficking prosecutor in Houston, Texas. I've had my life threatened by criminals. I never thought I'd see the day that it comes directly from the mouth of the governor of Texas.
Oh, give me a fucking break.
I'm willing to bet not a single criminal has ever threatened her.
I'm willing to bet that Abbott doesn't even wear a belt, because he can't even fucking sit up because he's in a wheelchair and probably shits in his Depends.
It's amazing how figures of speech, that they take them so seriously when a Republican says it, but when they say it's kind of like when Trump said bloodbath.
Right.
And everyone was up in arms over Trump said it's going to be a bloodbath, which means he wants to kill everyone, and all of the Democrats, they need to die. Well, go back a few months and every single Democrat and every single leftist news station was talking about Trump and saying it's going to be a bloodbath with Trump. And it's like, how come they can say it, but he can't? How come if he says the word, it means one thing, but if you say the word, it means another?
Because what you're saying is dangerous to democracy. That's
exactly.
Why.
It's called hypocrisy, and it's amazing. They are definitely the kings and queens of spin when it comes to words. And
seriously, bullets in my belt. I've got an ace up my sleeve. I mean, that's basically what the euphemism is. I mean, I don't understand. We're going to end with this because honestly, we need to go. Miss Wayne County has been crowned, and
which state?
Michigan.
Okay.
Michigan. And I just wanted to show. Listen, we're talking about relationships. Ryan's like, geez, I thought we were going to talk about things that were actually important. Knock it off. This is important. It's Sunday. We have to demean people. Here is Miss Wayne County.
Hello, my name is Amira. My service initiative is Step Up and Serve, and I am your new Miss Wayne County. Hello, my name.
Isn't hairstyle a category?
Isn't not being frumpy? Isn't the bathing suit like part of this process? I mean,
at least, okay.
No,
I'm wondering.
No, don't even do it, Liv.
What do you think I'm going to say?
I don't know, but it better not be any defense of this shit.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I was going to say, I wonder if for part of her evening gown, she wore a vest. I'm just curious.
Here's her wearing a nice ensemble with acid thrown on her face.
Also, mad props. At least she doesn't have a dick in an Adam's apple.
But that's not the point, right? I mean, okay, she's not a guy, but
she's not a guy.
Does Miss Teen wearing a full burqa and a headdress is this where we are? Is this the inclusivity that we need? Because if any of those teens went to Gaza or went to Egypt or went to Morocco, they would all be murdered and killed. So do we really want to go ahead and say that inclusivity needs to happen for the Muslim religion? I don't know. I'm confused. I mean, what do you think? You've seen it, Ryan. What are your thoughts? You think this is okay?
I mean, I'm all about freedom of religion, right?
Sure.
Let me preface that.
Sure.
But if your religion requires you to wear a headscarf or cover your body fully, right? Fine, great.
Yeah.
But if there's a competition that requires you to wear a bikini, then we're not going to adjust the conversation, the competition for your religion.
That's my point.
Because freedom of religion is freedom to practice it without persecution, not freedom to be included in everything because of your religion.
Right.
And it's protection against the government persecuting you. Not me owning a private company being forced by the government to include you. That's the line that gets blurred primarily by the left.
It's not even the fact that she is Muslim. If you want to be Muslim, that's fine. Take your headdress up.
Yeah.
Do you really believe that if any of those girls who were not Muslim dressed in that garb, that they would have been considered if they weren't?
No.
And she appears to be quite on the heavy side.
Yeah, well, that's my point.
She might identify as
right. I said she was frumpy, and I said, okay, so
I would have went with morbidly obese.
If you want to go that maybe it's her level of intelligence. Okay, well, if you want to say that it's her intelligence, then
there are many pageants out there that are based off intelligence, not beauty, and I was in one of them in high school.
Yeah, but even her intelligence, it's like, listen, you wear a burqa and you're told that if you speak out against A, B, and C, you believe in Sharia law. You believe that you should be whipped and caned if you go ahead and speak out against your husband, that he can be a philanderer, but if you even have anyone touch your skin, that you can have acid thrown on it. I don't know if that demonstrates intelligence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but in Islam, that this being even part of that would not be acceptable, even if you wore the whole garb.
That's my point. If you go, even her, if you were to step foot in any Muslim country outside of maybe Saudi Arabia, you're probably going to be executed summarily.
Most of those women they leave their house 3 times in their life: when they're born, when they get married, and when they die. Otherwise, they're in their house.
And when they do leave the house, they have to be escorted by a man.
Exactly. Right. I mean, and yeah, I don't get it. I think I'm on the up here I was with the diabetes Barbie. Why in the world does everyone have to be included?
Why does everyone deserve a fucking trophy?
Everything, yes. Why does I am so adamantly against No Child Left Behind. I am so against that in every single way. And I blame Bush for that. And that is where we get all the stupid DEI and inclusivity. That's where we get that, the No Child Left Behind, because that's this generation that's growing up. And I think it's absolutely ludicrous that this is happening.
We are 100% for calling out Bush, Obama, and Clinton for 1 million Muslim deaths. We're all about it. There's war crimes. I don't agree with half of that shit that took place. But we also can sit here and say that a Muslim who's a devout Muslim who believes in head coverings, and not just that, because there's Pakistanis and there's Sheiks and there's other religions, not just Muslim religion, that believes in these ceremonial dresses. I don't think a nun should be in a beauty pageant. Okay.
Nor will you ever see a nun in a beauty pageant.
That's correct.
Yeah, and here's the other thing.
Because a nun is going to say, I'm not going to put my body on display because God would not approve of that, because this is deeply against my religious values.
Right. And also, a lot of those Middle Eastern women won't even, they never get photographed. They don't allow it. They don't want to be photographed, and their husbands won't allow it. It's just something against their culture. So why are you out there doing this? I don't know. I think it's ridiculous.
Debbie, thank you for salvaging a donation at least a little bit. Can you imagine the evening wear competition in a
stylish black burqa?
No, in a stylish suicide vest made with composite C4 and marbles is. I mean, come on, it's just a little too much. Thank you for salvaging. I do have to show this live.
And recycled. Fudge. It's recycled from Gaza, so
That's just great. You're such a horrible person, Olivia. My God.
I know.
Last one. We have to do this. I have to do this one because we talked about religion today. I guess I just hit on all the social topics. There's very little. At least we had a conversation about the military and the founding fathers that was somewhat intellectual. But we're going to do this too.
How queer was Jesus? He was an observant Jew, but he was 30 years old, no wife, no job, hung out with 12 other dudes. That's pretty queer.
Oh my God.
Queering the Bible takes Jesus and other outsiders and religiously stigmatized folks in the past and juxtaposes them with contemporary queer folks and Christians, realizing that despite our past cultural differences, sexual and gender differences, that we share similar histories of out-of-placeness or vilified sexualities and gender diversities. Jesus' kingdom practice is queer in the sense it questions identities and blurs distinctions. Luke presents Jesus as leaving the patriarchal household and challenging both cultural hierarchies in his egalitarian meals, transgressing gender roles, and radical inclusion of outsiders.
You know what I'm waiting for?
Oh my God, yeah, go ahead.
I'm waiting for the freaking lightning strike to come down and hit him. I'm waiting for that the whole time.
Jesus also talked about false prophets.
Yeah, Jesus also flipped over tables and turned an entire city to salt.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, just to make sure, his whole point about diversity was predominantly based on wealth, and slaking lust for individual success versus the collective good of people. I don't remember Jesus talking about thou shalt suck cock. I'm pretty sure that wasn't one of Jesus's messages. I mean, I could be wrong. Was that in the New Testament or the New Testament that I didn't read? Somebody explain it to me. What am I missing? I mean, seriously, is this okay? Is this okay?
It's not okay.
Is this re-envisionment history? Is that what this is?
That's what it is, and that's what the left does. So the left tries to take history, twist it, and use it for their own personal political gain. So this guy's like, there is no way on planet Earth you can make an argument that Jesus is queer, God is queer, Jesus is God. There's absolutely zero argument that you can make.
None. He wore a robe.
Yeah.
Just because he wasn't married.
He had sandals. When was the last time you saw a grown man wear sandals?
If he was gay, he would have worn socks with those sandals. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I mean, if the whole argument is he was not married and didn't have a wife, well, that would make Bill Maher and Mike Rowe gay as well, correct? Because they're forever bachelors.
Yeah, Mike Rowe's not gay.
Exactly. Yeah. Neither is Bill Maher. I mean, just because you choose not to get married is not.
Ryan, you're not married, are you?
Yeah, I'm married.
Shit. I'm sure you're gay. So you're right. I mean, this is just ridiculous. It's just inclusion. This isn't inclusion. This is literally fairy tales.
But the revisionist of history has been a very successful strategy by the left.
Right.
And that's why they gained so much power, primarily through our school system. And I say this all the time. I'm not sure if this is my quote. I've said it so many times that I'm going to claim it. I could be wrong. But the biggest mistake that we ever made as citizens is to allow the government to teach our children, because all they taught them is a pro-government revisioned version of history. And it's primarily taught and ran by the Democrats. That's why you can't send your kid to Harvard, which is supposed to be this world-renowned school with the biggest historical, smartest people on earth have ever gone to, and they come out wanting to chop their balls off.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point, man.
Yeah, so we got away from so we used to have like the people like Thomas Aquinas, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, even Hamilton, John Adams. As much as I disagree with some of them politically, they all have a core base of education, and that's the classical education, which starts off with grammar, logic, and rhetoric, and then goes off to subjects like science and math and all of that. But they learn the core basis. And that's what we took away from our school system. So they just get taught propaganda. My daughter is 14 years old. She is a freshman in high school. And I said, so what history, do you have history class? No. Like you do not take a history class at all. Nope. And I thought she was just, poking me because I'm a history guy and that's all I want to talk about. And she never wants to talk about it. So I go on her thing and I look, there is not one history class.
Yeah.
Really?
And this is Florida.
Wow.
It's insanity.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just have a problem with whether it's the Daughters of the Confederacy or whether it's Maoists or it's modern day liberals.
Thank you, Jennifer Garlett. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jennifer. We saw Jennifer sent me a link today. I'll watch it later. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, got it right before the show started.
Then, even taking a look at Nietzsche or Darwinism, secular humanism, the Age of Enlightenment, you can go into Voltaire. No matter what it is, there is always someone who is trying to remove a people's ability for non-secular faith and belief. People who don't believe in secularism. They do not believe in being removed from the word of God. And this is what the left does, is that they try to remove hope, they try to remove resistance, and they try to remove education. And they do this by taking the guns, they do this by taking religion, and they do this by taking your ability to document and tell stories throughout history. And this is what they did to the Egyptians. This is what they did to the Christians. And this is what they're doing to the Uyghurs. And this will continue until people just say enough. And these things are antithetical. And no, not one individual thing is going to stop our country, stop this republic. But if you continue to normalize these behaviors, then people will accept more of something that they would not tolerate before. And that's the danger in all of this. Olivia has to put in the donations for the rest of the night. If you haven't had a chance to do that, please do so. We're going to give Ryan the last word. I'm just going to do this one because we do have a couple of minutes left. And then, really, I said we have to go. But this one is this one's quick. This one's this is a thumbs up, thumbs down. Is this okay? This reporter from WBRZ Channel 2 is desperately trying to get through her report.
I think I put it in right when he did the thing.
What was it?
Mr. Hollandaise 3140 said, I appreciate the bonus show. Thank you so much.
Yes, and
Maddie.
thank you for donating, Matt. We appreciate you. Here's this quick one.
Brown WBRZ Team 2 traffic. While they were removing Route 2 2020. Jesus. Oh my God! While DOT. Brown
That's so funny. I'm sorry, but that's funny.
So if you're in England, that is going to get you arrested.
Yeah,
now.
you're going to go to jail for that.
Yeah, the police will.
Catcalling.
Yep.
That's basically rape in London. You just raped her.
It is rape.
Oh my
You're going
God.
to prison. We're going to put you in the guillotine.
But you can legally rape your wife if you're Muslim in England, but you can't honk
Correct.
a horn or catcall or whistle. Quick thumbs up, thumb down. Let's Caesar this.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Should you be able to do that to a pretty woman? And should it be opened? You got to do a half thumbs down. Liv, is that okay or is it not okay? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Is it okay? And vote. I agree, man. Liv, would you find that offensive if you were out there looking like? First of all, that dress is about 17 times too small. Second, is it a compliment to honk the horn, or do you think she's pissed off because she's trying to do her segment?
I think she's pissed off because she's trying to do her segment, but honestly, I think it's freaking hilarious. I've gotten honked at before. I've had people call. I mean, Ethan was a baby and Hayden and some teenage dudes yelled out the window at me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's freaking hilarious. And I don't take offense to it at all. I think it's funny. It's just me. But I'm thick skinned. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm not offended in one way or the other. So, that's just me.
Ryan, your thoughts? Is it okay?
Yeah, dude. I mean, hell yeah, that's okay. This is America, Jack. Like, we can honk at pretty women. Like, it depends, if you yell something vulgar, that's different. But if you just, hey, it's more of a, I see the back of you, I like it, I'm honking because I want to see you look at me so I can see if you're actually a 10 or not. Right. So you see him, boom.
Does she have a butter face?
And then it's like she turns around, you're like, okay, then you give him another honk acknowledging.
That's right.
Or you just,
Yeah, but leaning out and be like, I can lick my eyebrows.
I've had vulgar things yelled at me throughout the window, but it doesn't bother me either.
You know what? And I will give you my thumbs up why it is because whenever I was at corporate events and I would come out and change, and I'd usually be in a t-shirt and a pair of Levi's, and everyone had a few drinks. The women in corporate, I had women in HR that would come up and they would grab my arm I've had a person from HR grab my ass at the bar. I've had girls sit there and try to hit on me, and walk up and touch my shoulders or touch my arm. And you know what? Don't give me the bullshit. I had that happen at a Def Leppard concert. I was raped at a Def Leppard concert by a girl in the line getting beer from two women who were like, oh my God, look at these guys' muscles in front of me. And literally were feeling and wrapped their arms around and squeezed my chest in line. If I can handle that shit, you can handle if we whistle or tell you that you're hot. It's a compliment. If you don't like it, well, then maybe you shouldn't do your video from there, you sensitive Nancy.
Yeah, or just ignore it and move on.
Well, I mean, I can understand why she's frustrated because she's trying to do.
She's trying
to do the video. I get that.
Well, why are you doing it right there?
Probably because the story's right there. It probably has to do with the construction.
I'm here with Channel 2 News. Construction's happening. Back to you, Shep. I mean, how fucking hard is that? Ryan, take us out of here. You got 1 minute. It's the celebratory 1 minute. Let's hear from you, and then we're done.
Let's do it. Thank you so much for having me, man. I'm so happy to see how far you've come, how far you've grown. This studio is absolutely awesome. Thank you, everybody that donated to help Matt, and above all, to remember that this is the cause. We're all together fighting the same cause, fighting for our country to make it better. That's why we are doing this. That's what drives us. I was thinking about this. Matt and I together, if you put us together, we have a very decent following, right? We're not massive. We're not the biggest guys in the world. But collectively, with guys like Matt and The Dumb Show and Olivia and Leroy and Amy and other shows like us, we're the ones who changed the dynamic of the country. All of us together, not as individuals. It's the movement, right? The movement that was tired of vaccine mandates, the movement that was tired of just complete oppression by the left, controlling every aspect of our lives. But all of you have made it possible. So thank you for having me. I appreciate being here. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and we will see you next time.
Sorry, we're talking. Go ahead. You done?
Yeah,
Can't end right there.
We can't?
We can't.
We can't?
Because we have something that we wanted to present to you, and we're getting it right now. So
okay, I'll keep going.
Yeah, say something else.
Okay.
Tell them what time your show's on and where to go to watch it.
So my show is Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock at night. Moving forward, I will be doing a show. What is today? Sunday? Tomorrow at 9. Tune in. I don't know what the topics are yet. You never know. Matt can probably attest to this. If you get all your topics lined up like first thing in the morning and your show is not till 9 a.m., 9 p.m., then all of a sudden at 5 p.m., somebody shoots Donald Trump in the ear. That's literally what happened to me one night. Yep. And I was like, oh my God, I have to scrap the whole show and report on this, obviously. So 9 o'clock, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m., follow on the podcast. Leave a review on the podcast. I got smoked by a bunch of trolls on my Apple podcast.
Do you have your reviews up? I turned mine off.
Can you do that on Apple Podcast?
Yeah. Oh, no, not on Apple.
Yeah.
No.
So on Apple, I don't have them up on Facebook, but Apple Podcasts, I had a whole bunch of trolls. If you follow my page and you do comment or look through the comments, the people that make fun of me, I roast them right back. It's actually a lot of fun. I make T-shirts out of them.
It was funny. Some guy came on there and started trolling him the other day. And it was an Army guy or a Marine, and he was a Marine. He was in a Humvee.
Yeah.
And he was the driver, and he started talking shit to Ryan, and Ryan posted his picture and goes, "You're a driver, LOL."
Yeah, he said that I was gay, and I said, "Well, you're a driver."
Yeah.
Like, stop it.
you're
a pogue, bro.
So I want to say I appreciate it, man. I've known you now for a few years, and how did we find each other?
I think we just kind of came across each other's comment, and it started with likes and shares.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have a way to call into my show, and you had a way to call into your show. And I said, you know what? I'm going to call in. Remember that? That was like 3 years ago.
I think that was the way it was.
Yeah. And then I called in, and I was like, hey, this is Ryan Samuels. And you're like, is this the Ryan Samuels? I'm like, yeah. And you're like, well, put the phone down and get on your podcast. I'll send you a link.
Yeah. And well, that's, and that's what it should be like. It's the way it is. I mean, it should be, people should communicate. I mean, it's how Damani and I met each other. It's how
Yeah.
Ryan Weaver and I met. You meet online, and you know, it's difficult because you don't know who's weird and who's a creeper, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes there's some real weirdos in this business, and it's nice to meet someone who's somewhat sane. This is taking way too long. I'm waiting to find out what's. It's not awkward. I mean, people will wait, but I'd like to get an update. Can I have an update? So they're obviously making this. Nino, who's Nino?
Let's look through. There's some comments I think we missed. Maybe we can hit up.
No, because usually they do questions. Nino America. Nino's been on the show before. Nino, yeah. No. Where did we decide to vacation at? Oh my God! Look at me! Look at me! Look at me! Look at me! Join or die. Black. Hey, Black was inside the podcast room. It's no longer there, so it means where Ethan put it in the closet. Okay, so I mean, it just totally ruins the surprise. I mean, I had it out. Okay, what did you say? She said something. Oh, where are we vacationing at? It's not really even a vacation. We're going to Virginia Beach, Def Leppard on next Sunday, and we're gonna go to the Def Leppard concert, and they're coming with Extreme, and then we're going to Coronado, and I'm taking Ethan over to the UDT and SEAL Museum over in Coronado, and I'm going to let him go and meet some of the team guys and talk to a few of the team guys over there. We're going to go to the base, and then I'm probably going to go over to Dam Neck and go visit my old stomping ground, show him that, and then we're going to probably go to an amusement park and come home. That's it. So it's not even really a vacation. We're there for like 2 days. I don't take vacations. This business doesn't allow us to take vacations. There it is. All right. So we wanted to, hold on. We wanted to give you something because this is important to me, and this is something that I got during my time at Flags of Valor, and this is a custom made, and I don't even think they sell it anymore, but this is custom made. And I thought about you, and I knew you were going to come one day, and I wanted to hold on to it because I had several of these things and I'd given them to friends. But this is the one that I wanted to give to you because I know how much this means to you. We just got done making your logo for your banner on Facebook, which is right here where we incorporated the Join or Die logo. Weeknights, 9 p.m. Eastern. Ethan and Hayden are going to come give this to you. Oh,
you have it tattooed on your arm.
Yep,
too.
tattooed on his arm. Here is, and Ethan, you got to turn it to the camera so everyone can see it. Hayden, you can always help. Okay, grab the back. Grab the back.
Solid,
wire.
huh?
Go ahead and walk it over here. And
oh man, that's killer.
So that is for you to put up in the house.
That's going right behind me on my podcast.
In there. And then, so that goes to you. We figured it'd be a great piece for your set. We take checks and cash. Just joking. Take a look at that. And then also, it would not be you here unless you got a Don't Unfriend Me Show hat.
Oh, nice.
So there is your Don't Unfriend Me Show hat. You cannot take a mug. Piss off. That's all you get. So we wanted to say, man, we love you. We appreciate you. We can't wait to do this again and see you again soon. Liv, you're going to put that in, put it in now?
Yes, I am.
And we have one more donation, and then we're going to go. So, hey, dude, I hope that graces your house
Absolutely.
well, and we appreciate you, dude, and we want you to have a safe trip back to Florida. Yes. If you see a semi-truck in the middle of the road, make sure to brake.
Yes.
And that is pretty much it. Thank you, Kevin, for $25. We appreciate you. We'll see you guys. Liv, what time are we coming back?
Tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern.
7 o'clock Eastern. We'll see you then. Ryan, say bye.
All right. Bye.
Night,
see you guys.
See you
Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
Dude, that's killer.
Enjoy it, dude.
Is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.